It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox are now tied with the Yankees for the top wild card in the American League and only 2.5 games out of first place after a 6-4 win over Cleveland at Fenway Park yesterday. Trevor Story led the offense with a pop fly homer down the right field line and 2 RBIs.
Yeah, it felt good. It's always good to sneak one out, you know, a little Fenway homer off the pesky pole. I think that was my first one, so I know AC's always talking about pesky, and we take aim at it a lot, and rarely do we hit it, so it was fun to do that.
Brian Baio struggled through 5 innings for the win, and Garrett Crochet will face the Guardians tonight at Fenway Park. In Foxborough, it's finally game week for the Patriots. They open up their regular season at home Sunday against Las Vegas. There is some real concern now for Christian Gonzalez, who was the only player missing from practice yesterday. He's missed the last month after tweaking his hamstring. Patriots also named their captains yesterday. Drake May and Hunter Henry will represent the offense. Robert Spillane, Harold Landry, and Marcus Jones the defense, and Brendan Schooler will captain the special teams. Last night, Bill Belichick made his college coaching debut, and his North Carolina Tar Heels got run over by TCU 48-14. UNC scored on their first possession to go up 7-0 and then allowed 41 straight points. And at the U.S. Open Tennis Tournament, top American Coco Gauff was beaten by Naomi Osaka in the round of 16 yesterday. Men's top seed Yannick Sinner was also among those to reach the quarterfinals. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello. Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for Maria? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Monday.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Tar Heel is a loser. That's the kind that will give you a heart attack.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985.
Yes.
That's true. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube to watch us and get very excited by such incredible content.
I don't care.
Well, you should. You've been featured on the show.
No.
Well, everyone's back together. I was here last Monday and Tuesday. John and
Hardy.
John, well, I was trying to think of what you were indeed here the whole time. John and Hardy were in town the whole time. I went to my parents' house on Tuesday. So, John, just get to it. What was going on? What happened, baby?
Played a round of golf with Ryan Johnston on Monday. He says hi. Well, you saw him on Tuesday.
Yeah, I did see him
on Tuesday. Played a couple rounds of golf with my boys. Got a massage. That was good.
You got a massage?
Got a massage. I haven't had one in like 15 years, so I got a massage. And actually, my sister is in town. My niece is going to Brown in Providence, so I spent a couple of days visiting with that side of the family. What else did I do? I don't know. The time slipped past. That's some of the things that I did. Just a rocking time all week. It's
Right.
great.
And your kids were in school, so would you get up with them when they went to school?
The first day I did, not
Yeah.
not Thursday and Friday. No.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And you get to sleep in your own bed.
Watched all of the Dallas Cowboys documentary on Netflix.
You watch sports for unnecessary.
That's right. Yep.
On your vacation.
That's correct. I enjoyed it. It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a story untold. I'll tell you that. That story's never been told about those 90s Dallas
Didn't
teams.
know anything about them.
No.
Never heard a word about them, in the moment. And certainly nothing since then.
Did you know they had a place called the White House, which was right next to the facility?
If only Jeff Perlman would have wrote a book.
Yeah.
And we would have had him on when John was here as a guest 2 days in a row to talk about the book.
Did you know Troy Aikman didn't talk to Barry Switzer when they won that last Super Bowl? Didn't talk to him the whole season.
Yeah.
Hated him.
Did Switzer and Jones get along the whole time?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
I believe they did, yes.
Well, they were old college pals.
Yeah.
So John, you and Ryan Johnson, that was the highlight. Your golf with him.
Oh, golfing with the boys was the highlight, Fred. Let's not make.
Oh, you and your sons.
It. Yes, that was.
Now, did you play at your famous course?
I did. One of the rounds was at Sassamon
Trace.
Sassamon, damn it, Sassamon Trace. Fine 9-hole course in Natick.
Now, did you play 18 or did you play 9?
Played 9 with the boys.
Okay.
Played 9 with the boys.
Yeah, that's
all they have patience for.
Yeah, 9 holes is about right. I think 13 holes is the perfect amount of golf, but 9 is fine.
Yeah.
Time for 9.
All right.
Yes.
So you played 9 holes with them.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the day, what did you do?
I don't remember, Fred. I don't know.
So you would get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what would you do?
The other days I slept
No,
in.
just any days.
I slept in for most of them, and sleeping in, as you well know, does not last very long anymore. I don't know how you do it. On weekends, you can sleep late. I can't do that.
Okay.
So yeah, I did not. I slept in till about 8 or 9. Go out, play with the boys. The day before school started, we made a day of it. We played golf and then had lunch and then went out after that. But other than that, no, there wasn't any fantastic activity other than going to see my sister and my niece. Met with the new Bryant University head basketball coach, J-Man Christian. He says hello. Spent the day at Bryant. Yes.
He said hello to whom?
He said hello to you, too. I told him how that I worked. He had not met me, did not know what I did. I have some friends at Bryant. I was there for lunch, met with the new basketball coach. He's like, oh, yeah, tell those guys that I said hello. That's it.
But you didn't know who we were.
No. He's from out of town. He's from Virginia. He's not familiar with the radio scene here. He just got the job.
No. He's not a guy who dotted the I's and crossed the T's, is he? I think you'd want to know what was going on in local media.
Well, he'll figure it out.
Especially since you got a big shot morning host.
Once he gets raked over the coals here on a, I would say twice a week minimum.
Sure.
After every game.
Sure.
It's going to be happening. He'll know about it then.
Yeah, it's funny. Based on that, AJ DeBonza, his dad, was texting.
You had him back in, right?
We had him back in.
I saw that, yeah.
And Joe and Dan basically took the interview, and his dad was like, texting me this stuff, and I went, "Hey, I mean this in all respect, like." Because he was sending me stuff like, hey, it's AJ Day in Brockton, and hey, it's AJ Day here. And I'm like, and I said to him, as soon as he starts playing, like, no one's going to be nice. I'm like, it's just no one's going to be nice anymore. Yeah. Like, because he's making, I've heard, several $1 million. And so
it's all different. He's been revered from the time he was like 11 to now. And then once he starts playing for BYU, the first night he shoots 0 for 9. Oh, man.
Or the first time he's a little weird with the media.
Oh, yeah.
That they're not going to like it. And you could go, oh, it's BYU, and what are they going to do? Well, no. BYU has invested in an incredible amount in that basketball program, and they have a NBA coach. And
they went to like the Sweet 16 last year. I mean, the expectation, or whatever it was, they went far in the tournament last year. The expectations are Final Four this year.
The expectations are that he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, that still is what the expectations are. And, like, if he goes into interviews and acts like he doesn't want to be there, and acts like he's better than the interview, it's gonna not be great. I mean, who could get the number 1 pick next year? You know basketball. I mean, I know it could be anyone with the lottery.
The Washington Wizards.
Yeah,
they have a better chance than a lot of teams.
Right.
So let's say he winds up the Washington Wizards.
Right. So have fun.
Yeah.
Like people aren't going to be nice. So I told his dad, and I did it in a really nice way, and I meant it to be constructive. I was like, it's great that there's all these days for him, and it's all really fun, but come October, November, that's all over. Like those days are over. Now in Brockton, he'll always be a hero, but he's not going to be treated with kid gloves anymore. Like people are going to. He's gonna have bad games, and there's gonna be times where he's, looked at. I mean, I guess his senior year wasn't so great, but he did fantastic after the season and the national stuff. Like
the competition is, even though he's one of the best players in the country, the competition is different. He's bound to have a subpar game or two. So, what did his dad say to all of this?
He said, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. He was, I know, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Because I almost felt obligated to say something to him. Like, you keep sending me this stuff that's like, it's AJ Day, and it's great. And I really did it in a nice way. And I meant it in a nice way. I'm like, this is really great, but this is going to end like pretty soon. Like this ribbon cutting ceremonies and, huzzah, the king is in town. Are that's not the way the media is going to treat you, especially if you're aloof and kind of combative. That's not the way it's going to be.
The other thing is, some of it's out of his control. I mean, he could score 30 points, and his team could start. He could average 30 points a game, and his team could start, say, 2-4.
Rutgers,
yeah.
Rutgers
good example.
Rutgers had the number 2 pick and the number 5 pick in the draft,
and they were
didn't
under
make the
500.
tournament.
They were under 500.
They make the tournament.
Yeah. So I mean, this kid, regardless of how he plays, may have to deal with negative media day after day after day.
Oh, sure.
So yeah.
And
it's like, it's certainly like a media cycle, but it's human nature too. You want to build somebody up, and once they've somehow reached something, either achieved their position or achieved even some success, now let's start bringing them back down to earth. And that's
nature of the beast.
It's just kind of how it works with everybody.
See, my
there are
thing
few
would,
people who escape that.
See, my thing would be like, I think human nature is not to like crap on a high school kid, and then even back in the day, like really a freshman in college, like you're not going to go nuts. But now that they make over $5 million to play they're professional athletes. So I believe that now, I mean, it doesn't let you go into their personal lives and like start poking around, but in terms of their performance or their attitude in interviews, I think that's absolutely fair game. I mean, that's why they're being paid that amount of money. They're being paid more than 99.99% of the people in this country.
Yep.
They're not an amateur athlete anymore, and this is what goes on. And, there's a couple ways to play it. There's guys like, Cooper Flagg didn't seem to have any problems. There's a bunch of big guys that didn't have any problems that were, elite college players getting into the whole pro thing that they didn't have any problems. Most. But as soon as they suck, even Cade Cunningham, who's a quiet, good kid, got crapped on because the Pistons sucked and he wasn't living up to his potential. So what are you going to do?
It only gets worse. He'll spend 1 year in college, then join a bad NBA team, whether it's in Utah or Washington or just pick a team. They're finished 23-59 his rookie year.
Yeah,
I mean this is one of those deals.
Well, the big kid from Rutgers, not the one that went number 2, but the big kid,
Ace Bailey or Harper? Is it Bailey? The kid who screwed himself.
Yeah. So him and Harper were supposed to be at one point 1 and 3 in the draft. There was Harper could have been 1, but then Cooper Flagg was so good, and then Ace Bailey screwed around during the whole process and didn't talk to teams and stuff like that.
Actually,
and
I think he wanted to go to the Wizards, right? And
Exactly.
Danny took him at 5 right before their pick.
Exactly.
That's right.
And he screwed around, and a bunch of stuff came out about him, about how he couldn't play, and da-da-da-da-da. So just is the way that it is.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, so he was in, but, Dan did say something funny that got a laugh out of everyone, is Dan was like, oh, your sister is like a really good volleyball player. Have you ever seen her play? And I went, oh, no, Dan, no. He somehow missed that. He's never seen her play volleyball. And then he goes, yeah, I live with her. Of course I've seen her play volleyball.
I'm related to her.
And I felt that was a good way to end the interview.
Let's stop here.
Yeah, I didn't say a lot. I kind of let Joe, because Joe, is very, very involved with his
there's
past.
a great sub place in Brockton, dude. Have you been?
Not so much that is his knowledge of prep basketball of the 90s. Like, he's a very, very in tune to prep basketball of the 90s. So he was able to do that, and, Dan was very excited. So I kind of just sat back in the cut for that. And then, Hardy, you went, you played, did you play that LPGA thing where the reads I had to do for you that you get paid for?
Yeah, I was playing along with the women. They gave me an exemption. I got a chance to get out there. No.
I thought that was the course you played.
No.
Oh, I thought before the I wasn't being sarcastic. I thought before the LPGA event that you were able to play the course before it was happening because you were endorsing it.
Nope. Was not able to do that, but played in a couple other tournaments. I was down the Cape for one. I went to the newly opened Pines course at the International in Bolton. That was a media day event.
Played from the tips? You played from the back?
No. But that's, that place was... you heard all about it, I'm sure, on Sunday morning on the Sports Hub Golf Club.
I heard about it from Blind Scott. Blind Scott was very upset that it was the last one.
Oh. Did he email about it? I haven't...
You go into your Blind Scott file.
I haven't checked my Blind Scott folder.
Hang on.
No, I can't say I read all of the intro to it, but I just know that he was upset that it was your last one.
Okay. Let's see. But did that had but a lovely conversation afterward with the general manager, Michael Galvin, and the director of golf, Paul Solano. It's just like good jazz. The three of us sitting down, just bebopping and scatting around, talking about the newly redesigned course, and tricky to say the least. But had another tournament I played in, it absolutely puked all over myself on Saturday. We did a little bit better on Sunday, and then had to drop my daughter off at college. That was the big event of last week.
So the Globe had an article that was about an older article about someone dropping their kid off at college, and it was very emotional. And the reason I saw it is because they had kind of re-released it with people's comments, not like the weirdo comments that are at the end. They had kind of curated some comments.
Yeah.
And, some people were like, I felt good about it. And some people, like one woman wrote a poem. But the article was sad because it was like, I am the son of which my kids revolved around. And it was talking about how, they're not out of my life and they're still in my life, but they're not they're not around. Was it emotional for you to drop her off?
Not really. I'm not saying this just to be, some stoic figure and I don't go in for that. Marcy is the first to admit that she thought she was going to be a mess. We were fine. All three of us were fine. And I think part of it was Marcy and Katie especially were so prepared for this, had everything ordered, packed, organized. I spent a good part of the day on Tuesday just loading the truck in the order I thought it should be.
Of course. You know what? You're in charge of the packing. Everyone else stand back,
so
right?
Tuesday was a big day.
That was my Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why you take the time off.
There was a neighbor out there, as I was, putting stuff in there, and I said, pre-World War II, the Nazis would send spies over to the United States to watch P.T. Barnum pack a circus trailer because they couldn't understand how he got so much stuff in such a small space.
And then his neighbor was like, "Thank you, I'm a Nazi."
And then I offered to show him my plates and collection of watches and pens, all from the era.
And then the shilling collection.
Yeah, exactly. The
This is great.
It's history. It's history.
What are you so upset about?
If you don't know what Hardy's referring to, there was a time apparently, and I believe it's well known that you would walk into Schilling's house, and because he loved history, he would have full Nazi uniforms because he collected them.
Yeah.
Kurt, what is your problem? What are you so upset about? It's history.
Now, could you have one in a museum to prove the existence of World War II? Did it indeed happen? Yes.
Never forget that type of
Right,
thing. Yes.
Right, but I don't know if that's something that I'm spending money on and decorating my house with.
Yeah. So Tuesday, the packing day was huge. The actual unloading and everything, and like getting her. I mean, I'll talk about it later when we have more time. It was impressive, like how systematic and streamlined it was. No one really got sad, I don't think, until the next day. And it's, there's been, we miss her terribly. Like, I miss her way more than I thought I would. And I think, surprisingly, she's a little homesick. Like, part of it is just they haven't had any classes yet. She goes to her first class like a couple hours from now. So she's been there since Wednesday of last week with very little to do officially having to do with school. 6
days. They have orientation stuff to take up some time during these 6 days?
John, not very much.
Really?
Very little. Yeah, parties and gatherings and a pep rally and a tailgate and all that stuff. But it's like days are long,
Yeah.
And there's just too much time, I think. And, man, I feel way weirder about her being out of the house than I thought I would. It's very strange. Yeah, because she wasn't home a lot. She'd either be at school or working or out with her friends. I'm like, it won't be any different. She was never home in the first place. It's so different. It's so different having that, especially the first kid, like gone.
Because she was good, because she was eventually going to come home. Like no matter if she was out, she was eventually coming home.
No, this is not, we'll see her. I don't know what she's, I don't know. Maybe
you'll see her before Thanksgiving.
We'll see her for Parents' Weekend.
No, but she'll come home before Thanksgiving.
Well, as long as there's some homesickness to be dealt with, I don't know that we will be encouraging that.
I wouldn't encourage it, but I think that I wouldn't have her start getting in the habit of coming home every weekend. But if there was a time between the end of August and in November that she wanted to come home for a couple days to like maybe even see friends, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
We'll see. We'll see if she's doing it, and I'm
what, are
sure.
You gonna tell her no?
Yeah, if she wanted to come home like this past weekend.
No, I would have said no.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying that if she wanted to come back like at the end of September, early October for a weekend.
And we even talked about that, but we're going to be there middle of October. So we'll see. I don't know. Fred, I don't know. I think a lot is going to change once she starts going to class and she has like her full schedule going.
No, of course, yeah. I mean, of course she's homesick. It's as big a change as it is for you. It's a much bigger change for her.
Yeah.
And but you know, you don't want her coming back the first weekend. But I mean, she does have friends still, in Boston, and she's not that far away. If she wants to,
most of them are away at school, though.
Right, but you'd be surprised how much kids from college are hanging around. They come back here and there.
Well, thanks to that long UMass break in between semesters, she'll be home plenty in the middle of December till the end of January.
Believe me, I saw Isaac.
Huge.
Isaac was all around Newton. Isaac was everywhere. Isaac he was like, his grandmother was like, dude, I can finally calm down. I got Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
I got Isaac out of my Hofstra area house.
Walk into Johnny's there in Newton Center and
hey there.
Yeah. Hi.
Going to Wegmans like a maniac. All right, we will be back in just a moment with everything that happened yesterday. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. What's going on in the streets, baby?
In my experience, just from my own little corner of the world, right up until 8 o'clock last night, the hiring of Bill Belichick at the University of North Carolina experiment was a success because for the first time in my life, I had an appointment viewing for ACC football. I'm going to sit down at 8 o'clock on a Monday night to watch ACC football.
BC?
Yeah. You know,
Who I have season tickets to. I missed the Fordham game. I was out of town for the Fordham game.
And I don't count the BC-Michigan State game because
that was this weekend.
But it was last year, too.
I'm talking about last year.
They're at Michigan State this year.
Yeah, I don't count that because I'm watching for Michigan State. You know, okay.
Sure.
Why am I watching either TCU or why am I watching North Carolina for Bill Belichick? And for maybe people who haven't been paying attention for the last 25 years and you don't know what this whole Bill Belichick thing is about, you got a little taste of it in the pregame.
I know that you've got a great motto where you say practice execution becomes game reality. What have you seen this week in practice that you think your kids can execute tonight?
Well, hopefully we can do a good job with our fundamentals, ball security, and communication.
Tell me about the hoodie. I mean, had to be cut off sleeves, right?
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Thank you, Coach. Have fun tonight.
It's kind of your thing. You are a caution, sir. I had no idea. You were so funny. That's what they say. He's funny.
And they say Bill's lost a step.
He's so funny. You don't know him. You have to talk to him. You gotta get him in the right mood, and then you'll find out how funny he is.
So Jordan was at the game, and Chef Dave sent me something that someone put on Instagram when the game was 41-7. Says, wait, so he's not a good coach anymore? Then I'm just dating a wealthy senior citizen with cartoonishly huge breasts?
Yes.
Yes. So that was what the question was at that point.
But I tell you what, right out of the gate, it looked like maybe this experiment was working.
Second and goal for Carolina. First possession of the ball game. Lopez in the pistol with Hood behind him. He will hand to him. Hood right side. Slithers through and powers home. Touchdown, Carolina. What a start for Belichick in the heel.
Surgical 7 plays downfield. Absolutely perfect.
7 plays, 83 yards. Bam. In the end zone.
The kid from North Carolina kept slapping his helmet. He was slapping his helmet. He was very into it. I was watching it on the plane. He was, hey!
Yeah, trying to get himself all riled up.
Yeah, because this was North Carolina football, baby. 70 transfers.
And as many times.
Amazing.
And I'm not making that up.
No, 70 new kids on the roster from last year.
Yeah.
Incredible. Including freshman recruits. 70 new players.
And that is how you get cohesion, ladies and gentlemen.
As Dion found out his first year in Colorado.
Well, yeah, but Dion won his first game in Colorado.
That's true, and beat the same team.
Yeah. And in a highly ranked TCU team that I believe had been in the final or certainly the semifinal the year before.
Previous year, and they were ranked going into that game against Colorado.
Yeah. And I think Colorado won that game on the road. But nonetheless.
Yes. Back to the matter at hand.
Yeah, well,
TCU's down 7-0.
Were any of you rooting in any way for North Carolina?
No, I was not.
Yes, I was. When that touchdown happened, I went, let's see.
Yes.
Well, how many times over the years have we seen a Bill Belichick team, or I'll just say, make it a Patriots thing. Maybe it's more of an NFL thing. You march down the field with that scripted opening drive.
That's what it was.
The plays that you've been hammering home for weeks. This is how we're going to open the game. Brady used to do it. The GOAT, right?
49ers were famous for it.
I mean, just go down the field, and it's like, and then crickets for the rest of the
Right.
first half. They wouldn't score again until the magical double possession score at the end of the first half and then get the ball to start the second. But there were plenty of games where the Patriots would do the exact same thing.
And as you know, because you've worked all week on. First of all, he spent all summer in Nantucket, but you work all week on that first drive. And, you have that everything scripted. You're going to the line. You know exactly what you're doing. It works out. And then TCU goes, oh, okay, we have better players. And maybe now this stops.
Oh, yeah. And maybe your quarterback isn't all that great. TCU ties it up at 7. They add a field goal. They're up 10-7. North Carolina with the ball again.
Third down now. Caleb Hood in the backfield. Stands to the left of Lopez. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Low snap. Rocks come after him. Lopez throws left. It is picked off at the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Bud Clark.
Uh-huh. I made it 17-7 and kind of had the feeling then that maybe this was not going to go North Carolina's way. Even with Steve Belichick in there as your defensive guru
He couldn't be growling enough, man. They couldn't have enough shots of that guy on the sideline.
They could have used Patricia. And I'm not joking.
Oh, Patricia's, he could have done over the weekend.
Patricia's like a legend right now because of but it's funny. I've heard people kind of crap on it, which is pretty interesting. But he nonetheless, Patricia, his defense looked great. I mean, they really made Arch Manning look bad. So here's Steve Belichick. He can't handle
Couldn't be licking
TCU.
his lips and scowling enough over there on the sideline.
One of the analysts said about Patricia, and you could probably say this about anyone who's spent significant time in the NFL and then goes back to college. Patricia has been tasked with trying to rattle NFL quarterbacks, starting NFL quarterbacks. Now you get him in position, goes, oh, I just have to make Arch Manning uncomfortable.
Yeah, a redshirt sophomore that's never started a game.
No problem.
Great.
I could do that. That's easy.
I don't believe he's ever started an away game. And that was the same thing I heard is that, okay, we just have to get this kid that has never played confused in Ohio State in front of that crowd. Yeah,
I think I can handle that.
Yeah, I think I can handle that.
But what about Steve Belichick? All right, so they had a little difficult.
They're down 17-7.
They're down 17-7. They would add another field goal, and then TCU with the ball.
Barnes in the backfield. Stands directly behind Hoover's in the shotgun. 1st and 10. Turn. Give Barnes. They come from the edge. Barnes finds a seam. 30, 35, 40. Barnes down the right-hand sideline. Down to the 40. Down to the 30. They don't have an angle. Barnes will score. Hit the horn. Touchdown TCU. 75-yard touchdown run.
What? Excuse me?
First
75?
First play of the second half. First play. It's 20-7. TCU gets the ball to start the second half. Now it's 27-7, about 15 seconds in.
Over.
Ball game.
All done. Forget it. That's it.
All right, so 7 plays and 83 yards on that first drive for Carolina. The rest of the game, you want to get stats for the rest of the game?
Yes, please.
Rest of the game, they had 7 first downs and 139 yards for the rest of the game. Gio Lopez, the transfer, the kid, the lefty quarterback, the first ever lefty quarterback under Bill Belichick, we were told. Gio Lopez went over 2 hours of real time between completed passes.
Let's play a game.
Okay.
Let's go through the ACC. I know none of us are huge experts.
Right.
Is North Carolina as good as BC? No.
No.
I don't know this. Are they as good as Cal, who are 1-0?
No. They might be. Cal was not good last year.
Okay. Are they as good as Duke? I don't think so.
No, they're not.
They're not as good as Florida State. They're not as good as Georgia Tech. They're not as good as Louisville. They're not as good as Miami. I don't think they're as good as NC State. I don't think they're as good as Pittsburgh. They're certainly not as good as SMU. Virginia looked really good over the weekend. I don't know if they're as good as Wake Forest. They're certainly not as good as Clemson. Syracuse is a push.
Stanford, they're better.
They're better than Stanford, and they're probably better than Virginia Tech. So, congratulations to Bill Belichick. He's really going to set the ACC on fire.
4 wins?
Well, they play at Charlotte, which I would assume they win. They have Richmond at home. They play UCF in UCF, which they lose. They lose to Clemson. They lose to California. They lose to Virginia. Maybe they beat Syracuse. Maybe they beat Stanford. They lose to Wake Forest. They lose to Duke. They play at NC State, which I think they'll lose. So
Charlotte lost to Appalachian State 34-11 in week 1. So you got to figure, Bill, pencil that in for a win for Bill.
yeah, they can. I think they might be able to get that hometown win.
Yeah.
At Charlotte, I think they might be able to take that home.
Well, as bad as they look, Bill said they're better.
Oh, we'll just keep working and keep grinding away. Well, we're better than what we were tonight, but we have to go out there and show that and prove it. So nobody's going to do it for us. We'll have to do it ourselves, and that's what we're going to do.
You know what's fun is that you could never make the playoff now. That now you can't make the playoff. You can't lose to an unranked TCU by that score and make
At
the playoff.
home,
Yeah.
can't do it. Can't do it.
Because who are you going to beat? Look at their schedule. Like so you beat Clemson. You don't play anybody. Their schedule's easy as hell. There's no way you can make the playoff. You're not winning the ACC. You're so fantastic.
Yeah, strength of schedule really matters. Really matters in ranking for this kind of thing.
Have fun in Fenway. At the Fenway Bowl.
I don't know if they finish 500 to get.
I don't
Fenway
know
Bowl.
if they make the Fenway Bowl, but if everything look, man, their schedule's awful. I mean, it is. They don't have to play Florida State.
Yeah.
They don't have to play Georgia Tech. They don't have to play. They don't have to play any. They don't have to play Louisville.
Yeah,
they don't have to play SMU.
The ACC is far and away the worst of the Power Four conferences.
Nah.
And in order to get, well, they're no better than third of the Power Four.
SEC. They took care of the SEC. They showed Alabama a thing or two.
Yes.
No, you're right.
You
They're
have
the
to
fourth.
run the table
Right.
to have a decent seed.
Or if you run the table, you don't necessarily make the playoffs, as was the case of Florida State,
right?
Who was undefeated and did not make the playoff.
Yeah.
So your dreams of Bill Belichick somehow raising a national championship trophy are now completely dead. And boy, is this schedule easy. Clemson might beat them. I know Clemson lost to LSU, and that was at Clemson. But Clemson might beat North Carolina by 150 points. Over-under is 100.
How about Bill's message to the team afterward? These young, impressionable minds that he's molding, and he's getting they're receiving his tutelage for the first time.
What was your message to the team in the locker room after a game like this?
Yeah, I usually keep my comments to the team private between myself and the team, but obviously we have a lot of work to do, and we need to get to it. And that's the long and short of it.
Get those kids fired up.
So they should beat Charlotte. I was just looking at Richmond, who is their third opponent. Richmond lost to an FCS school 21-14. They lost to Lehigh over the weekend. So that should be 2 wins, and then we'll see.
Yeah. And 2 wins that count just as much as anyone else. You know what I don't think is going to happen again? A lot of primetime coverage.
There were a lot of TBDs on that schedule. I think we're looking at 1 in the afternoon.
I think the days of Jordan and Lawrence Taylor being in the building are long gone. Enjoy it while you can. At least Dion won that game, man. At least Dion went in there and won that game. And he had never done it before outside of Jackson State. I mean, he went in and won. He beat TCU. He did it. And he did it with all that pressure. And stupid Belichick couldn't even got completely blown out. And but I mean, it is Texas Christian, who is so highly rated. Oh no, they're not. Okay, very good. He stinks. I couldn't be happier. His breasts are bigger than his girlfriend's, by the way, and that's not a joke. That's not a joke.
He that light blue hoodie is not flattering.
No.
He looked better in the dark Patriots.
No.
Not a slimming color.
Well, I think his boobs have gotten a lot bigger, so they're harder to hide. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox beat Cleveland yesterday 6-4. They're tied with the Yankees for first place in the wild card race and only 2.5 games out of first place. Garrett Crochet faces the Guardians at Fenway tonight. Patriots begin their regular season on Sunday. They were missing Christian Gonzalez at practice yesterday. Drake May, Robert Spillane, Hunter Henry, Marcus Jones, Harold Landry, and Brendan Schooler all elected team captains. And as we were just talking about in Chapel Hill, North Carolina last night, Bill Belichick blown out in his college head coaching debut. North Carolina lost to TCU 48-14. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the McGovern Automotive Group. McGovern and 98.5 The Sports Hub are giving away a brand new Ford F-150. For more info on how to enter, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub and McGovern Auto Group on Instagram. Complete rules and details at 985thesportshub.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
If your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what else is going on?
Red Sox beginning a set with the Cleveland Guardians yesterday at Fenway Park. Let's go to the sixth inning here with maybe the strangest home run you'll see this season.
They fly that one down the line. That one heading near the pesky pole, and that ball is Noel up against the wall, and it's going to be a foul ball.
After review, the call on the field is a home run. The ball hit the foul pole.
Trevor Story, home run.
Now, I say strange, and by the way, a small edit in that clip, 4 minutes taken out in between the original call and the ump coming out on the field to rule that a home run.
But in that situation, you understand why it took them so long to figure it out.
Well, okay, so I was at the game yesterday, and I saw it, and at first I thought it was a ground rule double, okay? The ball heads toward pesky pole, and you can see the right fielder bobble the ball a little bit. He caught it and then lost it, and then it bounced on the wall. I'm like, oh, well, it's on this side of the pole, so that's going to be no, wait a second. I guess that's a foul ball, I thought afterward. And then upon a lot of analysis, what did they determine, John?
They determined that the ball hit the pole before the right fielder got full control of it. The right fielder, John Kensky Noel, had the ball in his glove in fair territory next to the pole. However, his glove then ran into the pole, which jarred it loose. The ball popped out of his glove, hit the foul pole, went back into his glove, and then he dropped it along the sidewall in foul territory.
So it ends up being a 306-foot home run. The ball barely got out, really kind of didn't, but a home run nonetheless. The real highlight of the game, just sitting there watching it, was watching Chapman come in and take care of business in the ninth.
Into left, Duran in, he's got it, and the Red Sox win it 6-4. They take game one here in September. Aroldis Chapman, now 46 straight batters without a hit.
That's 16 outings, no hits. We told you just one run over the last 3 months. He's been automatic.
All right, 5 pitches.
46 straight hitters, 46 straight batters without giving up a hit. That's what, almost 2 complete perfect games?
Yeah. You want to talk about
He went in the month of August. He gave up no hits, and walked 1 batter.
Yeah.
He allowed 1 base runner last month. He's got an ERA of 1, and we are just getting to September.
And what a stunning contrast. Bayo threw 59 pitches to get through the first 2 innings, and was just it was a struggle. It was a struggle to figure out how he was going to be able to get through those first 2, and then watching Chapman come on at the end, and he was just lights out.
It's video game stuff.
Yeah.
Watching him play.
Yeah.
And by the way, and Fred, we talked about Brian Bayo a little bit. Bayo is now 10 or 15 innings short of his career high for 1 season. And we're still, this is September 2nd.
Well, he looks really good.
No, he does, but it's something that bears watching because he's got at least 5 starts left during the regular season, and then how many more in the playoffs? I mean, this is one of those things where the Red Sox decided to let it ride, and you're kind of holding your breath to see if this kid isn't a big dude like Crochet is. This is a small guy, and so you got to watch that. I wonder if they'll limit his pitches as we get towards the playoffs a little bit, like or move him around or massage his starts like they did with Crochet over the summer.
As for Trevor Story and that home run,
I couldn't really tell until like the last couple frames that they showed up there. You saw it hit his glove and then hit the foul pole, and then obviously that's what triggered it for me to think it's a homer. So for the longest time, I didn't know what it was. Obviously, a great result.
well, you could tell by the reaction of everybody that there was one guy sitting near me who was screaming the whole time, "That's a home run! That's a home run! That's a home run!" He may have been the only person on the planet who was convinced that was going to be the call, because everyone else, Trevor Story included, I think, is like, no kidding, home run? Okay, I'll take it.
You'll never see that again.
Trot around the bases.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
One of those weird things. You'll never see it again. But Red Sox are 2.5 games out of first place.
Yes.
That is remarkable.
Yeah, the American League is very interesting right now. I mean, it's there's a lot up in the air as teams are faltering, and the Yankees and the Red Sox are red hot.
Yeah, Yankees and Red Sox tied, as you said, tied at 2.5 back of Toronto right now.
By the way, the Red Sox have one more win than the Houston Astros, who lead the Western Division. If the Red Sox can run down Toronto, they may wind up with a first-round bye in the playoffs at this point. That's how up in the air this all is.
Well, why don't you get ahead of yourself?
Way to jinx it, John.
All right.
Jeez,
They have
John.
3 wins less than the Detroit Tigers, who have the top overall seed.
Yeah, and the Tigers have not been playing well.
So they could wind up with the number 1 seed in the American League playoffs.
Believe me, the Tigers need that number 1 seed. Let the Tigers have that seed. And I'm not sure about any success they have without that number 1 seed. So you get Cleveland at Arizona at the Athletics, and then you got the big New York series.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how it goes. But then the danger is the closer you are to Toronto and the closer things are with Detroit. Look, Detroit's not going to put schoolball against you just to get home field, but yeah, maybe they would because you get the time off. So, I mean, the closer things are with Toronto and the closer things are with Detroit, all of a sudden those aren't fun. Those series are all of a sudden, and they're better teams than you.
Yes,
but
this team isn't very good.
No, but it's playing really well.
Oh, they are, but they're far greater than the sum of their parts.
Right, and they own the Yankees, so I mean, there's no reason to think that they can't at home sweep that Yankee team.
So many things have gone right for the Red Sox
Right,
this year. It's
but
really amazing.
but it is interesting because I thought, okay, you know, if you're trying to hang in or raise, you were going to be a wild card team, but if you were going to try to raise your position in the wild card standings, you know, you might get Toronto and Detroit when they're not really trying, when they're just saving pitching and resting guys.
Sure.
But that doesn't seem like that will be the case.
No, things are tight enough now where every game matters to everybody.
Yeah,
that's very true.
All right, we will take a break and be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
market single in the bottom of the fifth inning snapped the 3-3 tie, and the Red Sox went on to beat Cleveland yesterday 6-4 at Fenway Park. Brian Bayo allowed 3 runs in 5 innings for the win, and Trevor Story added a homer to hit the foul pole in right after deflecting off the right fielder's glove. Sox are tied with the Yankees for first place in the American League wild card race, and 2.5 games out of first in the division. They'll pitch Garrett Crochet against the Guardians tonight. Patriots begin their regular season on Sunday against Las Vegas and Foxborough. Christian Gonzalez, the only player missing from practice yesterday. Patriots also elected their 6 captains. They'll be Drake May, Robert Spillane, Hunter Henry, Marcus Jones, Harold Landry, and Brendan Schooler. And in Chapel Hill, North Carolina last night, Bill Belichick's Tar Heels ripped off a 7-play, 83-yard drive and scored a touchdown to take a 7-0 lead on TCU to start the game. Then the visitors ran them over 48-14. The visitors scored 41 straight points during one portion of the game and had a pair of defensive touchdowns as well on Belichick's offense.
Obviously, we have a lot of work to do. We need to do a better job all the way around, coaching, playing, all 3 phases of the game. Just wasn't up to what it needs to be, and I know we're a lot better than that. So we'll need to work on those things.
UNC will visit Charlotte on Saturday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, 24-hour on-call service for your clog drain emergencies. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Pat's training camp is coming, and we'll be there to bring you every drill, every scrimmage and preseason game as the Pats get ready for a new season of football. On your home for all things Patriots, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
Kind of looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle. Up a vacation. You're supposed to do these things on Instagram. It helps the algorithm. And I went to my parents' house with my kids in Tennessee, and they're at an age where they have to be constantly entertained. And my parents fall, and it's always when they fall. It's always it makes me look bad. That's the main thing you can take away from it, is it makes me look bad, is what I would say.
When they fall?
Yes.
And they fall down.
Yeah, I told you the story that when they were here this summer and they were at one of my son's baseball games. And by the way, my son has a tournament in October, it turns out, in Florida. So it's not ending.
Terrific. How long are you going for?
I'm not going. Some other family's taking him, but it's a tournament. So I thought he was done. So now it all starts up again. But he'll be down there. He's very excited because he's ranked now, and he wants to go down and improve his ranking. So this is the whole thing. So anyway, the last night before we leave, we left yesterday. We go to Topgolf. We've gone to Topgolf twice because there has to be now. It's not enough that there's a jet ski and a boat in a lake right behind the house, and there has to be an activity every evening. And so the Topgolf was there. And my daughter and my son will play Topgolf. And so we're walking into Topgolf, and we're a little late. So we're walking ahead of my mother. My mother is parked, and we're walking ahead of my mother. And all of a sudden, I'm at the she can move around and stuff. Like, she's not like, with a walker or anything. And I get up to the counter and I turn around, and my son goes, Grandma fell down. So we all leave to go outside, and there's of course a group of people around her, and they're trying to help her up. Now, she does not want that, and that's not pride. It's because that's not the way to get her up. Like, you can't just like yank her up. Like, you got, like they want to yank her up, and like that's not the way you do it. She's got to get herself on her knees, and then she's got to get like 1 foot down. I mean, think about if you had very little lower body strength, like how you would get up. Like, you can't just get pulled up. Like, your legs can't handle that, right? So there is like a way to do it. But when you run out there, there's like a group of people, and they're like, and I'm like, oh, that's my mom. And they're thinking, oh, you piece of garbage. You just let that woman fall. You should have been walking all around her. I'm like, well, she don't normally fall. You know?
It's not like she's falling down like 10 times a day.
Yeah, like, I mean, she didn't fall. And when they fall very slowly. So they tend to not break anything. But I told you, my father tried to get on the bleachers at my son's game earlier, and he fell. And when he fell, my mom goes, "Oh, yeah, your dad fell." And I was sitting right there because you don't notice because he falls in such slow. He's like he's like a stunt man, like the fall guy. He can position himself and fall slowly to the ground to very little impact on. But then, like I said, two people like raced up to him to help him up, but you don't help him up like that. And they're nice, but I think they're looking at me like, you dick, like, why are you not helping him up? And it's like, well, that's not how you help him up. You know, you got to let him like get it together and get himself up. He's not dead. You'd know, believe me, you'd know if one of them were hurt. He's got to get himself in a position, which takes a while. Like, it is funny because then everyone leaves once they see how long this is going to take, and then there's no one incredibly hurt. They see that, but one of the things we did is we went.
The excitement is over, and now this is going to be a really long time.
Yeah.
This
So
is going
just
to be a thing.
Best just let us take care of it because I don't even really know how to do it. Like I tried everything. Like I got on my knees so she could use me as a support, but she didn't want that. You can't lift her arms because she doesn't want that. But one thing that we did do is the kids in Tennessee have been in school for a long time. So we went to the Soaky Mountain water park. Well, we went to Buc-ee's, which is not overly impressive again. I don't know why I went to it again. But we went to Buc-ee's, and then we went to Soaky Mountain Water Park. Now, the thing about Soaky Mountain Water Park that was great was that there was no one there. And the thing that sucked about Soaky Mountain Water Park that was no one there. So
it kind of like hampers your good time. Like it's not like it's so fun and so awesome that you're like, this is great, we have the place to ourselves. It kind of makes you think in the back of your mind, you know, if this is so much fun, how come there aren't more people here?
Well,
it's like seeing a line outside of a nightclub. Like, oh, that place must be good if people want to go in there.
Well, it's more of, wow, we're going to walk a lot of steps today. And there's going to be no one anywhere near us.
And nothing to slow us down. You're going to do a lot more than you normally would.
Yeah, well, because there's no lines, and all these things are at least 6 stories in the air. You're going, and by the way, in a lot of these, you have to carry rafts, like 2-person rafts up. I sent a friend of mine my day there. This was over the course of 2.5 hours. 14,000 steps, 5.5 miles, 4,000 calories.
Jesus.
From 4,000 calories?
4,000 calories from
like,
walking up the stairs.
It's like a Michael Phelps day.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. And it was 4,000 calories. At least that's what the watch said. A little short of it, but like 3.9 thousand calories. Because you just walk up. Walk up, and there's no stopping. There's no one stopping you. There's no standing on the thing. You just walk, and then you go down, and it's what, 5 seconds to get down, 10 seconds to get down one of those water slides. And I like water slides, but it's too much walking. I mean, you're just perpetually going upstairs. And my son, it was like he had discovered the Lost Ark. That he, like, when he got there, he's 17, by the way. He's not a child. When he got there, he was like, there's no one here. And he like ran like a footloose and fancy free into the wave pool. And he's like, wee, like, there's no one here. And my daughter and I are like, oh boy. And we're like, well, how long do you want to stay? He's like, I don't know, 5 hours. And we're like, whoa.
Oh, boy.
This is not going to be good for anybody, this 4-hour situation.
So why was it so empty? Is it mostly a locals place and the kids around there were back in school?
Yeah, it's not. It's called Soaky Mountain. It's not like in an amusement park. It's a standalone water park. Now, it's probably got 7 slides. 7-8 slides. But yeah, if kids are in school,
Yeah.
there's no one there. There was one of those like infinite wave things, and there was a girl that was there that you could tell. Now, tell me if what you would think of this, because we had an inter-family conversation about it, my daughter, son, and I.
Okay.
So you get on this infinite wave thing. It's a boogie board. You can't stand on it. You can't surf it. So that's out of the question. But this girl gets in. She gets on the boogie board. She's laying down. She starts doing like 360s and stuff. Then she gets on her knees and she starts cutting back and forth and doing 360s. Then she sits on it Indian style. I don't know what else to call it.
Indigenous American style, please.
And she's sitting on it like that. And she's like, so like almost in a lotus pose. And she's with no hands, like kicking it around like this. Okay. Very impressive she could do that.
Yeah.
Sad or impressive?
Only sad in that she's showing off these skills at Silky Mountain.
Yeah, that's what really makes it sad for me, is that she's by herself in this random place.
Well, this is an adult, too. So this is like a
God.
young adult. So this isn't a kid. This is someone who spends several hours. This is this is a, what was it? A Gladstone thing. This is not Joey Gladstone from the thing. What is it? The 10,000 hours,
Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell. This is Malcolm Gladwell. This is 10,000
I
hours.
thought you were saying gemstones, because this does sound like a Righteous Gemstones type of place.
Oh, if they've kept the park open, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but she had the ability to do all these tricks, and I'm thinking, okay, so there's very little line today. Like, in fact, there's no line really at all. But on a normal day, I'd imagine the line is, a half an hour, 45 minutes to get on this thing and to become such an expert at it. And that this is the thing you've chosen to become an expert at, something with no real.
I don't know that you can go pro as an infinite wave boogie board rider.
Well, if you were in Arizona in the early 80s and you were surfing in a pool, you could go out to the North Shore and start competing.
I was gonna say, but you're not gonna stay there in Arizona. You're gonna try it out on the big waves, and they might call you Barney. They might call you Howley.
They call you Howley, and then you're going to have to learn how to soul surf at that point. So, yeah, she was doing that, and that was a whole situation.
Very sad.
Yes.
Very sad.
Yeah. And my father, he does pro bono work for he does not get paid. He's never gotten paid for this. He does work for the big Tellico village where they live. It's like 6,000 homes. He does work. He markets for them, and he needs budgets to market. He puts together presentations on why they need this budget to market, and so on and so forth. The man, at least 12 hours a day in the office. And you go into that office, and my son went into it, and there's papers strewn all over the floor and desk and things like that. And he goes to pick something up, and I go, son, unwise. Unwise.
Oh, no.
And he's like, why? It's just a bunch of crap laying around. And I go,
No.
Oh, no. Grandpa will not like that you touch that. Grandpa's in the middle of Grandpa's the only person on the planet that prints out 7,000 sheets of paper to get something done and strews them about the floor. But then Grandpa felt a little guilty that he wasn't spending time with the family, so he would move to the dock so he could work on his phone. He was real locked into this free job that he has. Now, look, will it keep him from getting Alzheimer's? Absolutely. But this is what he does. But speaking of Alzheimer's, so we went to this guy's house. This guy goes, you and your son collect baseball cards, and I go, yeah. And my parents go, okay, this guy, his wife drowned very recently. He had a brain scan that says he's getting Alzheimer's. So he's had a very sad year. This all happened this year. And they're like, he's moving into an assisted living home. Now, he's fine right now. My advice to people is don't get a brain scan, because this guy's life would be way happier if he didn't know he had onsetting Alzheimer's. And this is the serious part of it. But they're like, he really wants you to come and look at his cards. So we go there. And he has a dozen cards. and they're not worth anything.
Oh no.
Yeah. And there's like a signed ball by Bruce Pearl and a signed picture by Pat Summitt.
Oh boy.
And like a signed Ted Williams picture, which Ted Williams lived to be how old?
Yeah.
90?
Yeah.
It signed some stuff.
Yeah.
So now I feel bad. Because he's got like a Tim McCarver card and like, you know, he's got these like cigarette cards, but they're like worth $100 because like Milo's going around and like, and I'm like, I'd sell everything like as a lot. And he goes like, because I'm like, I'd sell it all. Like maybe you could get a big collector in here and buy everything. And he's like, yeah, but you know, I'd like to get rid of it. And I'm like, oh.
So the inference was that you were going to go over and buy what it was that he had?
Buy, or at least some of the material that he had, but because he was like, I've spent my life collecting this stuff.
Oh, no.
But it was, yeah, but it was like 20 cards in 2 frames, a Ted Williams signed picture, a Bob Gibson signed picture, and he had a Satchel Paige card.
Okay.
That was worth like $1,200, but I didn't want to buy it because it was $1,200. I didn't want to give him $1,200 for it. Like I didn't want to buy it. He had, and then he had a signed Cal Ripken.
Plus it's Satchel Paige, and you don't do that.
Yeah, only white players.
Right.
And so he had a signed Cal Ripken George Brett photo, which I did like because they were both down home good kids.
Like me.
Yeah, like me, nice and white. And so I, you know, I never cheated. And so so I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do? And, you know, he's talking about how he knows a guy in Israel that has this drug that can prevent Alzheimer's and that he's like, we tried to sell my wife's stuff, my ex-wife, my deceased wife's stuff. But she collected garbage, It's like old coffee can, like, you know, like folk art in quotations, but it's like old coffee cans and stuff like that. No one's ever going to buy. And the real estate agent came in and said, get rid of it. Like, just get rid of it. But they said, don't take the sports memorabilia down because it might look nicer compared to, but everything your wife owned and spent her life collecting, get rid of because it's going to lower the value of your house.
Boy, oh boy.
And because it's just, it's like junk. Like, you know, now it doesn't look bad and I'm not insulting them. But it's bric-a-brac. Like it's not something that other people might be interested in.
What did you think about Wallach? Sounds like something that they might go for.
None of it was religious themed. So I figured that, and I didn't really take a big look at it. I felt really bad for the guy. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not, you know, everyone would. I felt bad for him. I mean, he kept talking about Alzheimer's, kept talking about this, and he's in good shape. Like, it's not like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but his wife, he didn't have any kids. His wife drowned, and it was weird because she didn't really drown. She had a heart attack while she was out on this noodle. Like, everything's kind of weird. So I go, all right, I'm like, okay, I'll give you $550 for the Ted Williams signed picture, which is probably worth, you know, maybe $100. I'll give you the Satchel Paige card that's in bad condition, and the Brett and Cal Ripken sign thing.
Yep.
And he's like very hesitant, and he's like, which is worth, in our estimation, like $200 more than it's worth. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, but I can't take any of it down right now, so I'll just put a sold sign on it.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, well, don't do that. And I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, no, if someone comes in your house and like wants all your stuff, don't tell them this is already sold. Like, just don't do that. So like, and I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, if you can't sell everything else, I'll just take it. I thought he just wanted cash, like me just to hand him cash.
Right.
But he did not want that. He wanted, I don't know what he wanted, But then it became...
What he wanted was for you to show up and go, "Oh my God, this is incredible! How much is all of this going to be?"
And that's what sucks.
That's
is
what
because
he wanted.
goes, "I spent my life collecting this," which I didn't really understand because there wasn't a lot of it. There was like very little of it, Like, what are you going to do with a Bruce Pearl signed ball? What are you going to do with a Pat Summitt signed pitcher? What are you going to do with a Ted Williams signed pitcher?
I don't know what I do with that Pat Summitt signed pitcher.
Well, once you've used it a couple times, I mean,
Shame on you.
I mean, what are you going to do? But it was...
Woman's a legend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like, you could sell this stuff, and I mean, what's he gonna go do with it? I'm like,
you know what it sounds like too is that he's felt, feeling compelled to like do something with this because of this, terrible diagnosis. And so he's started it, but when it comes time to pull the trigger on something like actually make a sale, then it becomes real. It's like, oh, wait a second, now I'm going to prolong this because that signals like the end of something.
Which is fair enough, but the main thing is that I think he thought he had like tens of thousands of dollars in memorabilia.
It was presented to him clearly like, this guy collects a lot of stuff. He might buy all your stuff. He'll pay top dollar for it. That's what it sounds like this was sold to him as.
Oh, no.
And then you showed up and things were different.
No. He didn't think I was going to buy everything. No, he didn't think that. My parents would not have told him that under any circumstances. Okay. No, I just think he thought that everything he had was worth like a ton of money, which is why basically I was like, I'll buy these 3 things for way more than they were worth. But the thing is that like he's like, well, what about this stuff? And Miles like, well, it's $100. It was just, he thought he had a lot, but he did not. But then it's the games and high stakes memorabilia, guys. You guys wouldn't know about it because you're nickel and dimers. All right, so Cerrone Battle was supposed to join us because he was at the North Carolina game, but he's not. But we can still make fun of Bill. We'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy. If you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
Yeah, again, the biggest thing is we have to correct some of the mistakes we made tonight. I mean, we just can't.
I got a D- apparently. I thought I did well, but what do I know? And then at 8:05, the festivities began. Michael Jordan, Lawrence Taylor, Jordan Hudson,
Randy Moss.
Yeah,
all there.
Yeah, but I was giving them an order of importance.
Oh, sorry.
And they were there. And, you saw Bill Belichick. He was coaching his first game as a North Carolina head coach against the TCU Horned Frogs, who were not rated.
Real quick, before we get to the game, I saw a video. Apparently, North Carolina has a tradition before all home games. The students walk through campus. They walk to the stadium. They walk through a throng of onlookers, and it's a chance for the players to shake hands for the fans that are showing up to the game.
Oh, the players. You said the students.
I'm sorry.
How else are they going to get to the game?
The players walk through all the students, and the students give them
right.
five and all that. Bill Belichick is leading the team. Belichick walks through the crowd with his head down, surrounded by security, doesn't look at anyone, kind of ambles his way into the stadium. Meanwhile, the players are stopping by and shaking hands and giving five to everybody. It's typical Bill. He hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement surrounding the program. He was pissed he wasn't in Nantucket anymore. I mean, he had been spending so much time obviously in North Carolina based on his goings-on.
You just mentioned something that escaped my attention last week as I was playing catch-up here. So Bill listed his cottage for sale?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know about this.
Yes, he has listed one of his cottages for sale. Now, he owns others. But
Two-bed, two-bath. Do you know the price?
Yeah, $3 million or something.
3.9.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
500 square feet.
There is a belief that Bill that things were not so great in Nantucket this summer for the Belichicks.
Oh.
And that he might want to get out of there. That Linda Holiday has put her foot down and said, "I run this island." Which, again, shows you how great Nantucket is. That it's
really fun people.
It's like a town where your car breaks down in a movie and the judge, they follow you everywhere and the judge makes you do things. In fairness to Bill, would you really want to live somewhere where they're always just like screwing with you? I mean, like there's very few places that small where they'll just screw at you. I mean, bars had signs on, "You must be older than Jordan Hudson to get in." Like, people didn't want them there. And that's Nantucket. And that's why people like Nantucket, is because they keep people out that they don't want, like minorities. And so, yesterday, Bill, he takes the field. Everyone's out there. Everyone except for Desmond Howard picks North Carolina. Teddy Bruschi, surprisingly. Randy Moss, surprisingly, picks. I mean, they're obviously analyzing this thing like there's no tomorrow. They're on top of everything. Bill Belichick's got 70 new players on this team, and he's been really putting them through their paces. So the game starts, and up and down the field go the North Carolina Tar Heels. And boom to boom, boom, boom. And they score that touchdown, and then nothing happens again. And they pull their quarterback and everything else, and they end up getting absolutely destroyed 48-14, which was fantastic. So there's no way that they could ever in a million years, under any circumstances now, make the playoff. There's just no way. I don't care if they win the ACC. There's no way that they could make the college playoff. There's just none. You don't take a loss like that to TCU at home and win it unless you're like Alabama or something. They're not going to grandfather North Carolina in. And so now, look, this schedule is ludicrous, and it's how easy it is. They're at Charlotte, where I would imagine if they lose that, that's great.
Well, Charlotte lost to Appalachian State by over 15 points.
Appalachian State beat Michigan one year.
That's true.
Oh, that's one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah, Appalachian State beat Michigan one year.
Ruined their season in week 1.
Yes,
oh, my
indeed.
God.
Paid them over $1 million to be there and then lost.
And then they play Richmond at home.
Richmond, who just lost to Lehigh by a touchdown last week.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that those are not the worst things in the world. And so then they're at UCF, which I would imagine they lose that game. There's no way they're beating Clemson, and then so on and so forth. So what did UCF do? And UCF is an 83% favorite, close to 84% favorite to win that game. Bill somehow, despite the 6 Super Bowls, unable to attract talent to North Carolina. And here we were under the assumption that he was able to do that. But after watching college football this weekend, just much like there was the Brady Belichick debate, is there the Patricia Belichick debate? Because Patricia, as defensive coordinator of Ohio State, held Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns to 7 points, while Bill Belichick gave up 48 to Texas Christian University,
who was not ranked,
who was only a 3.5-point favorite.
I know.
Bill and his spawn, just genetically engineered for great defense.
Gary Myers, get him on the phone because Brady versus Belichick is coming out later this month. Perhaps Brady versus Patricia should be coming out as well. Was Bill just a beneficiary of greater football minds? He's such a dope. What an idiot. He can't even... A 6-time Super Bowl coach brings 70 kids in. First of all, well done. Like that'll all get cohesive right away.
You'd have to have 2 coaches on staff just to help you remember names.
Well, Lombardi brought him in.
That's a good point.
Lombardi brought him in. The great Mike Lombardi. Hey, the GM of the team.
I like seeing him up in the booth last night too.
Oh, and I also liked in the pregame people saying that they got a Super Bowl winning GM in there, Mike Lombardi, not a total idiot that is one of, says yes to Belichick and spent 15 years kissing his ass. So that's why he has the job. Belichick surrounds himself, and this is unfair to his kids because especially Brian, I heard, is intelligent, but he does, and this doesn't count his kids, but he does surround himself with fools. He really does.
Steven was really good as a defensive coordinator on his own last year, too.
Well, he was at Oregon, too, who has NIL
Washington.
money, or Washington, who has NIL money that you wouldn't believe. But nonetheless, how long until the fans of North Carolina football go, oh, I don't like you anymore?
It's going to be, again, they have 2 opponents, maybe 3. Central Florida is.
They lost to TCU, though, John, and beating Charlotte and Richmond is not going to.
They are so thirsty. UNC's been so mediocre to pour.
And then you lost at home 48-14 on a Monday night game with national media there, Jonathan.
I know that, but if they wind up 3-1, regardless of who.
They're not going to end up 3-1.
Regardless of who
they're
the
going to end up
opponents
2-2.
Okay.
They're not beating UCF at UCF.
UCF just barely beat Jacksonville State by 7 in week 1.
UCF is a...
I know they're favorites, and I know they're 83% whatever. All I'm saying is I know nothing about UCF football other than what I just told you. My point is it wasn't a blowout win in week 1. They could be 3-1. North Carolina fans conveniently will forget that they just got curb stomped by a decent FBS team.
Tar Heel is a loser.
You think that North Carolina is not a town that doesn't know about sports, college sports.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know it's a basketball town, but they're not naive enough to go, oh, things are great. They just beat Charlotte.
No, but
they're not beating UCF.
Okay,
they're not.
All right,
you saw that team. They can't.
They're terrible.
He somehow managed not. Well, he doesn't need one. Because, he doesn't need a quarterback. He proved that by letting Brady go. Right. You can get anyone to just use his system.
Right.
He doesn't have a kid who can play quarterback. Their defense is terrible. What part of that team did you see that you went, oh, that their kicker on the first extra point, I thought he missed it.
I thought he missed it too. I thought what I saw is
too.
what we've seen in New England and around the NFL, just to be fair. a great 7-play opening drive, a great scripted 7-play drive, and you saw the defense get a stop on their first trip out there. But other than that,
they were awful.
Awful.
Beyond awful.
But by the way, this was a year of purgatory for him to get back into the NFL. Yeah. I wonder how long he's got this job. If he loses, all right, beats Charlotte and Richmond, he's 2-1. Loses to UCF in Clemson, that makes him 2-3. Say he finishes this season with 6 wins.
I think that's optimistic. I think based on what we saw last night, you figure 5 wins.
If he wins 5 games, they fire him?
No, they don't. Because they'll make that convenient excuse. Oh, we got 70 new guys in. Let them settle in.
Well, maybe don't bring 70 new guys in. They made a bowl last year. Didn't Carolina play in the Fenway Bowl last year?
I think you're right about that.
They made a bowl last year.
They were 500 last year. I think they finished 6-7 after they lost a bowl game.
Okay.
But if they win 5 games, the excuse will be, okay, he's just settling in. He had to bring in all these new players. Let's give his program time.
Okay.
I bet you he gets another year.
My thing would be he's the highest state paid employee in the state.
Sure.
You brought him in as a genius, someone to turn this program around, and you don't get a year. You don't get a year. Like, Deebo Samuel doesn't get a year. Deebo Samuel. He didn't get a year.
I think he should make $10,000 a year.
Do you think this coach at Alabama is going to get a lot of time?
No. DeBoer could be gone after this year.
I'm glad you mentioned Alabama because former Alabama head coach and let's see, a current ESPN host and a bunch of people all made their picks before the game started. And
yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was actually talking to Ryan so we could have the audio just to do a quick count of like who picked what and specifically what they had to say.
Okay, we'll come back with why they picked it because Brewski was there. You had Desmond Howard's the only guy who picked against them, but we'll have why they. You should. By the way, fade Feinbaum. Feinbaum, who I love, was wrong on everything. And by the way, we should get Feinbaum audio today.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
We got it.
But Feinbaum was.
Ric Flair took him down. Don't worry about it.
If you faded Feinbaum, you won every bet. Fred, you're exaggerating. No, I'm not. You won every bet. Every bet. He took Notre Dame. He took Alabama. He took Texas. Oh boy!
But we need to monitor all these people today.
Oh, they're going to be going nuts.
So sure about North Carolina.
Oh, they're going to be going nuts. But about anything. But we need Feinbaum for tomorrow. All right, we'll be back.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
Sports Hub.
And then there's McAfee there. Like, I just can't take it. I can't take it.
It's a lot.
I can't. What's with the dog?
He can't go anywhere without it.
No, I get it. He likes the dog. I don't understand why it's so wonderful that there's a dog there. I have a dog. It's around all the time. I don't bring it into the studio every day. All right, here we go. This is the picks before the game. If you want expert analysis, look no further to the ESPN crew doing the game last night.
It is that time to make the picks for tonight's game. Yeah. Desmond, I'll start with you. North Carolina and TCU.
Listen, Bill Belichick is the reason we're all here tonight. This is going to be a big game for UNC, but the disrespect factor is going to be huge. Talk to TCU players. They want to upset his debut at home tonight. I'm going with the Horned Frogs.
The reason why... Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's McAfee. He's like, my time to talk. And then he went, oh, no, you're not done yet.
The reason why... Oh, okay. Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, it's a weird...
That's my guy. That's my guy.
He's trying to start a culture here. I think it gets off to a...
This is Teddy Bruschi talking. He's trying to start a culture that's what's very unique about Bill, is he's trying to create a culture around the team.
He's trying to start a culture here. I think it gets off to a good start here. I'm going North Carolina.
Well, I really respect TCU's program.
This is Nick Saban, and he is talking.
I really respect TCU's program, their team. Sonny Dykes has done a really good job. They got 16 starters back.
I have that movie.
But I cannot go against my friend who I'm going to be rooting for tonight. I'm picking North Carolina.
Yeah, it's TCU has all the motivation in the world. I mean, we've made a big deal out of Bill Belichick's debut for the last month, basically coming to ESPN. We're going to be there live for Bill Belichick. TCU has a very veteran team. Sonny Dykes has seen the heights of college football. He has a lot to draw from. And with that being said, Michael Lombardi also has a bunch of Super Bowl rings and team-building stuff, accolades. Bill Belichick can build a team quickly. He's got guys that he likes and he can mold in front of this crowd, building a new culture. And because I'm friends with the head coach and the GM, give me North Carolina to win here.
So McAfee is friends with Mike Lombardi. What a genius. What a great guy. He's friends with Mike Lombardi. He's friends with Belichick and Lombardi. You know what? Why? Because he's such a agitator and he's new media. He's breaking all the rules with his friends with Bill Belichick, anti-establishment Bill Belichick, and even more anti-establishment Mike Lombardi. Ooh, you just don't get it. He's fresh and out of the box. He's friends with Mike Lombardi and Bill Belichick. Really what he is the Jello Biafra of the 2020s. I mean, this guy is taking sports and yanked it on his head with his relationship with Belichick and Lombardi. And by the way, he just used Lombardi as an example of why they'd win.
That was the first thing he said.
Lombardi and his Super, he's got a bunch of rings.
Yeah. He got him the class rings from middle school through high school.
Remarkable.
And I hope so. Because it could go two different ways, I think we all think. Because we have no idea, 70 new players. But it could go great if he gets his guys in there, like what FSU was able to do.
What is he talking about? Why is he on television so much? Go wrestle.
But it could go great if he gets his guys in there, like what FSU was able to do. The unknown makes this intriguing, and Des is the only one.
Good stuff. And
it's really good.
And just mumble all over each other. It's fantastic. It's great. You're so talented, all of you. It's just such a wonderful thing. But I was missing the dog. There was no dog there to run around. You know, the dog went in the fountain.
There you go. He's got a dog in the booth. Right up there on the TV again.
Is it like a service animal? Did something bad happen to him?
I don't know why he needs a dog. Like the dog flies with him to Monday Night Football.
If it's like a service animal, then I don't want to make fun of it. But it's just certainly getting a lot of play. There's it's like a romper room kind of like corny circus going around there.
I don't know why Kirk Herbstreit needs the dog.
And he's good at what he does. Yeah. I mean, he's a good analyst. But I mean, they got dogs and Lee Corso, like it's like he's dead. If I'm Lee Corso, I appreciate it, but it's like I'm not dead, dude. Like, give me a little bit of room here. I appreciate all the support, but I mean, you know, and then they did this documentary about like the first time he put the head on of the mascot. And you're like, well,
genius. Do that again.
It's not like, you know, the invention of the piano or something, or, you know, the time that someone decided that you could make film. You know, there's the first movie in the time Lee Corso put the hat on. You know, I saw the
Discovery
Beatles.
of penicillin.
Exactly. You know, I saw the Beatles, and Lee Corso was the Beatles of putting mascot hats on. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Andrew Callahan is here. He will join us, as he will on Tuesdays throughout the rest of the season.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
All right, men. Summer is end.
Christian Gonzalez, the only player missing from practice yesterday. The team also elected its 6 captains. They'll be Drake May, Robert Spillane, Hunter Henry, Marcus Jones, Harold Landry, and Brendan Schooler. In Chapel Hill, North Carolina last night, Bill Belichick's Tar Heels ripped off a 7-play, 83-yard drive, and they scored a touchdown on their first possession to take a 7-0 lead on TCU. Then the visitors got serious in a 48-14 win. Belichick's team got embarrassed on national TV.
Yeah, look, they just outplayed us. They outcoached us. I mean, they were just better than we were tonight. That's all there was to it. They controlled both sides of the line of scrimmage. Their skilled players played well, and, they did a lot more things right than we did. So, give them credit for being the better team. They certainly deserve it.
The visitors scored 41 straight points during one portion of this game and had a pair of defensive touchdowns as well. UNC visits Charlotte on Saturday. And at the U.S. Open Tennis Tournament, top American Coco Gauff beaten by Naomi Osaka in the round of 16 yesterday. Men's top seed Yannick Sinner is through to the quarterfinals. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the crispy fried twin catch with North Atlantic cod and crispy shrimp, available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Boom.
Yeah. Hit somebody. Oh.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Well, I think
Andrew Callahan is going to join us every Tuesday for the 8 o'clock hour, which we're excited about until the end of the football season. He is, of course, covers the Patriots, does other stuff for the Boston Herald. And Andrew, I mean, if anything was proven this weekend, it was that Matt Patricia was the brains behind the whole Belichick second half. I mean, there is the Brady versus Belichick debate, but Matt Patricia confusing and stifling that great Texas offense with Arch Manning, and Bill Belichick unable to stop those TCU Horn Dogs from 48 points. I got to tell you, Patricia, you got to figure a little satisfaction today as he rules college football.
Was it Belichick or was it Patricia?
Well, if Gary Myers ever writes the book that, Fred, you suggested, Belichick versus Patricia is the sequel, I'll be first in line to buy that. I don't know how you get 300 pages out of it, but I'm reading every single one.
Yeah. Did you hear that Pat McAfee, who's very dangerous, well, look, you don't get it because you're part of the establishment.
Right.
He works for Disney, a bad boy. He's friends with not only Belichick but Michael Lombardi. That's pretty dangerous, you know. He's like a wild card. He's outside the system. He's just sitting there kicking the system while it's down.
Is he the guy that's going to tell you like it is? No, he's the guy who's going to tell you who he's friends with on the teams that he's about to pick either for or against, and then pick accordingly based on his friendships.
I mean, what an agitator. I mean, he's the kind of guy that the establishment hates now, but like 30 years from now, he is the culture. You know what I'm saying? He's like a Richard Pryor or like a George Carlin. He's like someone
What an insurgent.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Really, he is. I mean, he is something else. You just don't get it, man. He swears in a time where you can. Wow. What a provocateur that guy is.
You know what he reminds me of?
Sucks.
Is Dane Cook was really popular as a comedian when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was so excited how excited my friends were about this new comedian who's freaking great. And I just listened, and he's just shouting like, "You giant beverage!"
Yeah.
I'm like, is he saying funny words loudly? Like, is that the whole thing?
No, that's a joke.
Is that
there.
what Pat McAfee's
That's
doing?
it.
Just like yelling and being louder than you, and clapping more?
I just don't. Someone sent me an article, and this will be very quick, is that, you know how mainstream media, like big corporations, media companies, they tend to be a little behind? Well, Spotify and Amazon are dumping a lot of these high-priced podcasts just in time for the big audio companies to go, the traditional audio companies to go, gimme. So Spotify and Amazon have said, we tried it and it didn't work. But then the heritage companies say, Now
we'll swoop in.
Yeah, now like about 10 years too late, we'll get involved. All right, but I do like that McAfee is very underground. All right, I like it so much, so let's just continue the conversation for a little bit. Were you at all surprised that Belichick, his team played so poorly? Which they did, very poorly.
I don't know how you can't be. And I say this as someone who, college football is one of the couple sports I allow myself to put a little money on. I thought TCU would win handily. But 34 points is a scoring margin that should have been worse. Like, TCU could have had 50 if TCU wanted 50.
Yes.
That's how that went. Not to mention, the first drive is something that was probably the most misleading opening series I've ever seen in a football game.
Well, yeah, they practiced those 7 or 8 plays for about 4 months, and then, there's 55 minutes of this game we still have to play.
And it didn't seem like TCU was overly interested in that first drive defensively. Like, it wasn't like there was the long pass, but other than that, it was just kind of like not tackling. It was just runs up the middle for like 15 yards that TCU didn't seem overly interested in stopping. And then when the second possession by North Carolina, you went, okay.
Yeah, this is very different.
They're getting their asses kicked up front.
Yeah,
that's what it was. But then what compounded that, and I had just one of the best timed tweets of all time saying, I don't know why TCU's trying to make UNC tackle. This is weird. Like, even Bill's crappiest teams tackle pretty well. I think they had 50 after that tweet. You had the punter missing the snap entirely. All of these very basic mistakes, penalties, pre-snap stuff that we all learned in the last 2 years of Bill. Oh, this is not a given anymore because the Patriots did that. But there was nothing for them to hang their hat on. Like, all right, we at least won't screw it up. No, you were screwing it up and get your asses kicked by a team that was always better than you. And I think people, especially in this region, right, that have been not as invested in college football as probably the rest of the country, go, Bill will make up for the talent. No. This gap in talent for UNC and even folks on their schedule coming up, UCF, Richmond, Charlotte, it is so big from the big guys and is so much closer to the teams that you go, Bill's going to handle that. There's no guarantee the next 3 weeks they get 2 wins.
And by the way, like, Bill should have been able, with the portal and with the way things are and NIL money, and they have a lot of it now for
North
football.
Carolina went over the top in investing in NIL over this summer. That's what they got?
There's no excuse. You can't make the excuse that they can't compete in the SEC or the ACC. That's not true. Like, they have, I would imagine, as much NIL money as almost anyone in the ACC. Maybe not Miami and SMU. Who knows what's going on over there anymore? Yeah. But, like, they have more NIL money than Boston College. They have more NIL money than Duke. They have more NIL money than Louisville. Like, you can turn things. Like, it's not 20 years ago where you got to, recruit and get your team together and solidify them. You can bring in talent. Jesus. Look at Florida State. They got the kid from Boston College. That's his third team.
He looked like a world beater.
There's guys, so when he's throwing, but they have 7. They have, guys in their 7th year like playing. I mean, it's a little ridiculous.
Well, Florida State's a great example though, because you remember how last year went, right?
Yeah, they were
season
terrible.
From hell. Something like 3-9, maybe they were 2-10.
Right.
Okay, they turn it around. They had plenty of investment and resources then, but what they did was sign the wrong guys. And the edgy guy next to the edgy guy at ESPN, because Nick Saban swears now too. I don't know if you've noticed.
Ooh.
He will say if you pay the wrong guys, you're SOL. And he's totally right. And this is the biggest piece of the Belichick experience in North Carolina. Okay, they'll play with better fundamentals. Cool. His biggest issue at the end in New England, and this is in the last 2 years, this is like the last 5 to 7, maybe 10, was drafting, was identifying talent and fit and developing it. Okay, their drafts were horrible. Vrabel already said it today of like, we're kind of in a hole because the draft sucked. If the whole piece, the advantage is going to be we have money, great. Well, are you going to identify the right kids to pay when that's harder to do in high school than it is, I think, coming out of college?
Do you want to hear a story that this is true that I know? Michael Lombardi, this is true. I'm not making this up.
Okay.
Michael Lombardi brought a kid in, and the coaching staff was like, "You did what?" That actually happened. That is through someone that is not lying to me, and that is a professional. That the story is that Michael Lombardi, who is good friends with that agitator, Pat McAfee, that outlaw, who surrounds himself it's like Hunter Thompson. he's the William Burroughs of our generation. Like apparently this happened like over the summer. Like Lombardi had given a kid money and a scholarship, and someone who may or may not be related to Bill Belichick went, "Huh? What?" So Lombardi was working kind of like on his own a little bit over there. Not great. Could you imagine this? It didn't seem to be streamlined, the whole operation over there at UNC, if you can imagine.
So I tweeted this a little bit just at the very end, but we all know how ESPN's coverage was yesterday, right? Like, they knew people were turning in to see Bill. You focus in on Bill. Okay, I don't know how many times you were reminded of all the accomplishments.
I don't know how much deserved, but I don't know how that you have to pick them in the game. Like, I don't know.
No, for sure.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
But this is to balance out. ESPN during the day dropped this insider story of 9 months and talking to more than 24 sources and 2 veteran college reporters that talked about the recruiting experience, where I say, just as I just did, okay, can they actually identify the talent? That was a problem here in New England. They didn't know the recruiting rules initially, and they were having guys in. There was a kid who's quoted in the story as well as his mom, which this is not representative of everything that's gone on, but this is one example. Belichick had come to him and said, hey, I know the other staff didn't offer you. I don't know why. We want you badly. Kid enrolls early in January, sticks around till the spring, transfer portal opens again. They're like, you got to go. we want you to leave. Guy transferred to Charlotte. Probably should have been at Charlotte all along. But he's like, why would you why are we rolling out the red carpet for me if you're just going to roll it up at the end of the night and I don't get to stay? And that's partly how things go in athletics. Like, this is minor league football now. Okay, there's no veil around it. There's no facade anymore. Pay for play. That's what it is. Evaluation. Guys suck. You tell them and you move on.
Yeah, but was
really
he a senior when he was offered the scholarship, or he was going? But he went on to campus with a scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's entirely in a lack of integrity. I think there are college coaches that would not do that at big programs. I truly do, unless you did something wrong, dude. How many scholarship athletes do they keep? At a big Division I program.
It was 85 a few years ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think there's a lot of coaches that kind of let that go. Well, Gary Goldman, our friend, made the BC team, got the scholarship to BC, got hit, went to the coach crying, saying, I don't want to do this anymore, and they didn't take his scholarship away. They just said, all right, you don't have to play football, but we'll keep you on scholarship because you need the money. I mean, there is a...
If he did that in high school,
no one cares about just being like a good person. Well, it's business. Yeah, but business doesn't have to be that way. You can. There are ways of being a balanced human being and not just being a total piece of crap. If you tell a kid you got a scholarship, worst case scenario, let him play out the scholarship that year and let him know he's going to have to transfer after the year. Pull the scholarship right before the season. You don't have to do that. Got 85 scholarships? What a piece of garbage. And I know it probably happens to other places, but it doesn't have to.
It does.
It doesn't have to.
The end of that story said they've gotten a lot more organized with their recruiting. But, you want to understand how last night happens. I think a lot of people do who otherwise had not watched or cared about college football until Bill Belichick was on a sideline last night and they live in New England. You go, what the hell? Well, they don't have the right guys to evaluate talent. Then some of the guys they bring in, they want to kick out already. And when you have 70 new players all at once, some of whom are not fit to be there, you're going to take your lumps. They were picked 8th in the ACC in the preseason poll.
Yeah.
And before last night.
Yeah, before last night. They're typically worthless polls. That one seems to have an idea of what's going on.
Oh, they're not going to finish 8th in the ACC. I can tell you that. And I will also tell you this, is that I can't see a kid wanting to play there. I don't know why any elite player would want to play at UNC unless they're from there.
Well, the idea obviously would be that Belichick could train them to be a pro, but there are so many other hoops that he's jumping through and so many other problems.
Because Ohio State's had a lot of problems with that, and it's
that's just
Super Bowl winning coach. Only Michigan could get.
I know.
Into the,
you asked what the attraction would be. You have a Super Bowl winning coach that knows what it takes to get to the league.
All of these narratives, like when he first took the job, it's like, oh, kids are going to be falling all over themselves to go play for Bill. And I remember asking, why? Well, first of all, there are much better football programs to go to. You can name a dozen, without even thinking about it. Number two, all right, he's going to get you ready for the pros. To Fred's point, because the other schools like Alabama are so bad at it, when you have half of your starting 22 making it to the pros the next year. And then the biggest one, I think, is, well, wait a second. I'm still going to college, and as much as I want to play pro, I want to have a good time while I'm playing college. Is there anything about playing for Bill Belichick that I know of that I've heard through the grapevine is fun? Like it's going to be a good time? No. So what's the incentive? What's the incentive to go play for Bill, especially now after that first game?
And I'd rather play for a guy who had a bunch of college national championships than an old guy that won Super Bowls years ago. Because there's a reason he's coaching there. And there's been plenty of pro coaches that have gone to college and Steve Spurrier, well, he went pro. But there's pro coaches that have gone to college and not done what with
Walsh.
Bill Walsh. Yeah, the guy that was after him. He also went to UCLA and he was no good, right? Joe Seifert. He went somewhere. All right, anyway. Let's move on, and we will get to your Patriots. We'll do 2 stats and a lie, which was he stumped us all while you were gone. He stumped us all.
Week 0.
Week 0 stumped us all. We will be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and
Sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Is there a concern for him on Sunday with the timing? The days
well, again, I think that get him back for practice first, and then we'll have an update and status for Sunday.
Toucher and Hardy, our friend Andrew Callahan from the Herald is in studio, and the final cuts have been made. The season starts for your New England Patriots on Sunday, and people are very excited. I got to tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited even for Thursday. All right. So, any surprises, Mr. Callahan, from these final cuts?
Jabril Peppers on Friday. And those are two separate things. When they cut Jabril Peppers Tuesday, I'm going to be surprised. You do it 3 days later after you seemingly have your 53-man finalized. That's another separate surprise with the timing. It makes it all the more curious.
What happened in those 3 days that they didn't know before?
It's a great question, because I checked in on this and got kind of an unclear answer, basically. Like, hey, it was a lot of things. Basically what Vrabel said at the podium yesterday. And I texted a couple of executives and asked from 3 different teams, like, hey, was he available? Did you hear about him via trade? Because I figured you'd just be able to flip Jabril Peppers for 6th-round pick, maybe a 7th, whatever. He said, no, he didn't really hear anything. And Mike Reese said he heard from one team that did hear from them. But one of those same executives goes, something had to have happened or was happening. And thanks to people like Mike Giardi, I think Phil Perry had it too, that there was no off-field incident. But to me, the one thing I'd land on is they're really cognizant year one of Vrabel's message getting through to everybody. And that is not just the rookies who are going to listen because they have to, but the new veterans. We've seen totally new leadership. If Peppers wasn't totally on board, given his role had just diminished, this might be, you're not good enough for us to keep around and try to make you happy. Why don't we let you go play and play somewhere else, which might have been what he wanted.
Okay, and so it is, Duggar is still on the team. Is that surprising to you?
No. I know it was surprising to the team and to Duggar's camp Tuesday when the team makes a decision in the last 20 minutes before the deadline that he was going to end up staying there. Because the last 2 weeks, they talked with multiple teams. They got closer with one. But the issue was how much money the Patriots wanted to eat and didn't want to eat, and that's what the other team was asking for. But because of all of the discussions and some of the reporting I had, both sides were like, yeah, he'll be off. We'll split. It'll be fine. It didn't happen. So him staying, though, because the Patriots didn't want to eat $10 million for nothing and I have a player who at least can be on the scout team, which is what he was yesterday at practice.
I saw that.
It doesn't totally surprise me. But they didn't expect to land there last Tuesday.
Okay, do you think you could be traded?
Yeah, the other thing I heard after that had been finalized was this is not a guarantee. Like, don't expect Kyle Duggar to have this, Sharpie roster spot. And he might even, this is pure speculation on my part, but be a healthy scratch on some of these Sundays. You know what I mean?
Well, that sounds like it's trending in that direction. It sounds, if they have him on the scout team, it sounds like that's certainly a possibility. But he's not the defensive back to worry about. The defensive back to worry about is Christian Gonzalez, who I thought for sure would be back by now. I mean, you saw it happen with Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. They sat him down for a month to make sure the hamstring was healthy. He was back at practice last week. I figured it was the same thing. It isn't.
Me too. And my thing is I've not been worrying about this because I'm just not going to worry about guys who are injured when there's a game more than 2 weeks away. Today, there are 5 days left until that game Sunday. He's not practiced in 36 days. You're talking about more than 5 weeks. And hamstrings are notoriously tricky. You talk to any trainer or anyone in the athletic training field, like they can get very finicky as of how far you've recovered and how you're able to test that. Mike Vrabel didn't tell me that he had a setback when I asked him that directly, but he said, well, it hasn't gone, and then he stopped and changed the thought, which to me says this is either taking longer or he did have a setback, and I have no reason to believe right now, more speculation on my part, that he'll play Sunday.
Really? And
it's been more than 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, and if he doesn't play Sunday with injuries like this, how long does that generally last? Do you have any kind of perceived timetable on it?
No insight there. And I don't know if they do either, because the other part about my confidence there are two things. We would see him walking around practice every single day. With Mike Vrabel, as we saw for stretches with Bill Belichick, if you were really hurt, media never saw you. They didn't want to let you know that someone had a wrap on their knee or a sleeve on their leg or whatever it might be. Christian Gonzalez is walking around in a beanie and a hoodie and sweatpants at every practice. I'm like, okay, he's fine. He looks fine. The other part is I just would have shelved him anyway. He's your best player. So the fact that now Mike Vrabel's like, we can't even put him out for a walkthrough tells me that they're either going with more caution than they expected, or again, he had some kind of setback. So there's no timetable for me.
Okay. Just because it's on the top of everyone's mind and anyone's been talking about the Micah Parsons trade, the 2 first-round picks, the defensive lineman for Micah Parsons, the deal is made. He's very highly paid, highest paid non-quarterback, I believe, in the NFL right now. You're going to hear fans of every team say this. Should the Patriots, he's young, but it was 2 first-round picks. Should the Patriots have invested in a player like Micah Parsons?
I wouldn't have. And it's the easiest thing in the world to sit here and be like, the Patriots should have traded for a top 5 player in the league. How else do you get them? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's likely they probably don't get a player like Micah Parsons with either of those first-round picks. But their issues are not just the lack of star power. It's the lack of depth behind them. And that's been because of the draft. Like, Fred, I think, honestly, if the Patriots were allowed, and this somehow worked in the NFL, to keep just the players they really wanted, instead of filling out a 53-man roster, that number would have been in like the low 40s. So if Mike Vrabel, who's taking a long-term view on this, as he should, because if you're going to sustain winning, you need to get it right draft after draft after draft. You give up your biggest prize assets. It's a team that might pick in the top 15 for a guy who's unbelievable right now, but is also known to be a little bit of a locker room issue, according to his own teammates in Dallas.
Yeah, and then AFC GM or front office guys said the same thing. He's not loved by his teammates. He's a problem, but
and where do you go with that?
Produces,
like, okay, now we expect the Patriots to make a wild card run. They still can't pass protect. You still want a better receiving core. Adding Parsons doesn't solve the problems that are keeping you from making the next level. Going, they should contend for an AFC title or a Super Bowl.
I wouldn't do it on that side of the ball.
Right.
Without even bringing into the question all the the locker room issues and the money and all that. It's just that's not the part of this team that concerns me.
Totally.
And I'm not convinced about the defense either. But I wouldn't make a big move for that player on defense. That's not what you need right now.
How much better do you see Dallas' side in doing that?
No.
Okay. How much better does that make Green Bay?
I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl.
Because of Mike
Parsons.
Okay.
I thought they were close. I picked them last year, and I have the Ravens beating them this year. But that is a guy that fundamentally changes your defense. And here's the best part. This is the stat from Bill Barnwell whenever that trade happened, because I completely lost track of the days. When the Cowboys had him on the field over the last 4 years, they were the best defense in football by EPA per play. When Parsons was off the field, and this is more than 1,000 plays, they were the second worst defense in the NFL. That's one player.
His pressure rate was so far ahead of everyone else, correct? He could have gone like 200 snaps without a pressure and still led.
However you want to slice it, against true pass sets or in terms of total pressures or overall pressure rate, whatever it is. That is equivalent to the on-off splits for Nikola Jokic in Denver or Tatum here in Boston or LeBron for any number of years with the Cavs. That is not only just a below-average defense now in Dallas, it's probably an average team because they got rid of that guy.
Okay, what about, and I've heard this from national guys, that in football, outside of the quarterback, other players are fungible in that, teams win while losing star players that aren't quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, you have to reinvest those resources, right? You freed up amount of cap space you would have committed to him otherwise, and their cap probably would have been over 50% for CeeDee Lamb and Mike.
This being said, is that I'll give you an example. The Lions lost Hutchinson, and they still they lost to Washington in the playoffs, but they lost Hutchinson, who's a top 20 player.
Still had a great regular season,
and still won far more than they lost without him. It is. So it's interesting that you say that Green Bay now is your pick. Well, you picked them before, but that this makes Green Bay this much better just because teams lose players that aren't quarterbacks and still seem to win.
So I think if you cited 10 examples, and that Lions one is a good one, you would find that all of those teams had good depth and players that you could at least plug and play. No one's as good as Aiden Hutchinson at defensive end for the Lions, but you've got enough good guys there to replenish that because the Lions have crushed the draft now for 4 or 5 years.
This isn't a Lions. This isn't a Patriots argument. This is that Micah Parsons will make Green Bay better, but players that aren't star quarterbacks don't make teams Super Bowl teams, if that makes any sense. Like Dallas didn't do anything with Micah Parsons. And, that do you invest that much in a guy that's not a quarterback?
Okay.
That's kind of was the thinking.
So I think the piece of this is to ask why Dallas didn't do that, if that's a piece of evidence you're going to use to support that case of, okay, non-quarterbacks are not enough of a difference maker. My counter would be Micah Parsons is in such a tier of his own. Like, if that player is a non-quarterback, but he's a top 5 player in the league, because even Bill O'Brien was telling us 2 years ago before the Patriots played Dallas and got their butts kicked. That guy is, by definition, a difference maker. And he's a difference maker by what he does to the opposing team's quarterback and how he's also a force multiplier for your own defense where he's drawing the double teams. When you're a defensive coordinator and I need to get to the quarterback, and I understand he's going to take 2 offensive linemen or a lineman and a running back and a tight end out of the picture, that lets everybody else eat more and have an easier job.
Well, no, I get that.
So to me, all of that adds up.
No,
to
I get that you need a
equivalent.
pass rusher in the NFL, and that pass rusher, left tackle, quarterback, and corner are the positions of the elite positions in the NFL. It's just now look, I think Dallas should have kept them too, but it's just giving up so much for one player, and that player hasn't won. Is there an argument to be made that? Is it worth, for a Green Bay team that, is Jordan Love as quarterback, is that the team that should make that move?
I think Green Bay also looks at this holistically and says Jordan Love's going to make another leap in his second year as a starter. Like, they're banking on that, and they are because they paid him handsomely. But within that argument you kind of laid out, I hear a little bit of an inherent contradiction. Okay, the player who's a non-quarterback hasn't won enough, so why are we going to trade for him if he doesn't drive winning? But non-quarterbacks are not worth it because they don't drive winning. So was it his fault that they lost, or was it on the
it's not Micah Parsons' fault that he lost. It's that, look, if you can draft Micah Parsons, you pay him. Like, he's a part of your team and you pay him.
Yeah.
Because you drafted him and you pay him. And that's what you do in the NFL, draft and develop. Again, I think it was a bad trade by Dallas too. I'm just talking about the improvement of Green Bay.
I understand.
I'm just kind of arguing that I don't know if, because people are now like you, but you like them anyway. But like people that didn't have them even winning the North are now like, oh, well, they're a Super Bowl team. And I would push back. I don't think a pass rusher is the difference between you not winning a division to all of a sudden making a Super Bowl. Like, that's not the there's a lot of good pass rushers on bad teams.
So I think that zooming out, any team that you consider like a contender has probably 5 to 10, maybe 12% championship equity. Like, your odds of winning, no matter, even if you're the highest level of contender, are not 50% or more. You're not shooting for a probable outcome. For them also, okay, what was the missing piece in Green Bay? I'd say one of the bigger missing pieces was that pass rush. Like, they've got a really good offensive line, a really good young quarterback. Their receivers are all coming up with him. You're well coached. You got a decent secondary. Okay, Xavier McKinney, I think, was an all-pro as a safety last year. Like, it comes in a specific case of he came at a discount, just 2 first-round picks and an aging defensive tackle. They weren't going to pay anyway. He is the missing piece. And that has to be a specific piece, not just we're one player away who's this good and plays this position. That's how I think they looked at it. So the executives who disagree, I obviously disagree with them.
Look, the Rams, I mean, that was the way that the Rams did everything, is they went and got stars, and it worked.
Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it does work. It just was, whenever anything is so unanimously for something, I just want to see if there is a counter argument to it, because I want to see if there's any kind of logic to what Dallas did, which I wouldn't have done if I was Dallas. and if you're a Patriots fan, you should see this. If you draft and develop guys, you can pay them, and you can all. And we've talked about with this Andrew before. The cap isn't crap, and there is limits, but you can sign your own guys.
Yes.
You can keep your own
You
guys.
draft, you develop, and you resign.
But
how it works.
and the thing is, if you want to keep your own guys, you can keep your own guys.
Yes.
Like, you can do it. Like, there's ways you can do it. You can do it.
Unless you're Elliott Wolf and all those draft picks are out the door, as well as all the people he
he said
resigned are out the door.
If you want to keep those guys.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to keep any of those guys.
No.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, look, we have Andrew. Do you have the 2 stats in the line?
And I told you we got a twist this season.
Hold on.
Oh.
It's coming with a twist.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
He was dead the whole time.
What does this mean for my scorekeeping? Am I going to need a separate column for the twist?
You weren't here to write everything
The twist
down
only
before.
works because you're scorekeeping. So this is
interesting.
Simple. You guys got it, but it's going to be the standings are never more important than they are this season.
I love
All
this.
right.
All right.
Love this.
We will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox beat Cleveland 6-4 at Fenway Park in the opener of a 3-game series. Red Sox are 2.5 games out of first place in the division. They're tied with the Yankees for first in the wild card race in the American League. They'll pitch Garrett Crochet against the Guardians tonight. Patriots begin their regular season Sunday in Las Vegas. Christian Gonzalez, the only player missing from practice yesterday. Drake May, Robert Spillane, Hunter Henry, Marcus Jones, Harold Landry, and Brendan Schooler are the Patriots captains this year. And Bill Belichick's UNC Tar Heels got blown out in their first game of the season, 48-14 by TCU. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lowe Preston, Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Tom Karen, and Tommy Curran. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports.
$40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Which brings me, though, to my two stats and a lie. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is a lie. Some imaging with this would be fun.
All right, it's Toucher and Hardy. Andrew Callahan is here. We have two stats and a lie with a twist. Now, you did this last week, week 0. It was a preseason two stats and a lie.
Yes.
And who was participating last week?
So Fred was here. I filled in for you, and RJ was here for Wallach. So Ryan Johnson played, Fred played, and 12 played. And they got shut out.
All 4 of them?
All 3. Fred, 12, and Ryan Johnson.
Oh, that's right. You were a co-host.
Yeah, clean sweep. Last week's slate was better than I think what I have for you guys here today. But we didn't. The twist is season long, and this is the part I'm most excited about.
I see. All right.
I can only imagine. Is it? Do you want to reveal the twist first?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh. So I've consulted with MIT mathematicians on this. I've talked to game theorists from Harvard.
Have to do with bringing in an explainer for Fred so he can actually participate without twisting himself?
Very well last week processing. Okay, I think it's a new season.
Hey.
Turn it over a fresh leaf.
All right.
Pick another cliche.
All right.
Fred's good.
Okay.
So to review for everybody, two stats and a lie works like this. I bring in 3 pieces of information every single week. You guys pick out the lie. If you are correct, you get 1 point.
All right.
This year, as I'll be in through the Super Bowl every Tuesday, there will be 3 weeks during the regular season where they are all lies.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Guys, I have more faith in you than this.
Come on.
I will not tell you ahead of time.
Oh,
But
man.
here's the deal. If you correctly guess one of those 3 weeks where they are all lies, instead of getting 1 point for identifying the one lie, you get 3. So last year, when it's late October and Wallach is already planning for the draft, and it's Fred and Hardy, and that's it for the standings, Wallach can make a comeback now if he guesses the weeks, or you could bury him right away.
Okay.
So the basic concept is the same.
All right.
If you identify a lie, you get 1 point. But there will be 3 weeks where I don't tell you that they're all lies. And if you guess that week correctly, that's 3.
And if we don't, there isn't an extra penalty for.
It's -1.
I see.
This is where the MIT mathematicians, you got to punish them.
This is already complicated
so
enough.
So 3 weeks out of the, and you're here for how many weeks? 20.
So I said during the regular season. So when the Patriots stop playing, so does this.
So
this
18
twist.
weeks.
18 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's it.
So on the weeks when you guess that they're all 3 lies, you're not picking a lie that week.
I pick 3 lies.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no, he doesn't understand it.
I know. Fred's got it.
Just,
Yeah.
I believe in you guys.
You know what? I got it.
Yeah.
Right away. Just like that.
All right.
So that starts now.
All right.
Okay.
And then
Can we play the good one, the good intro?
Let's do this. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see if you can get it right. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see if you can get it right.
All right. Let's hear him.
Number 1, last night's 34-point blowout was the largest loss in Bill Belichick's head coaching career. Last night's 34-point blowout loss was the largest loss of Bill Belichick's head coaching career.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 2, the Patriots, who play the Raiders on Sunday. The last time the Patriots lost to the Raiders at home, none of their current team captains had been born yet. The last time the Patriots lost to the Raiders at home, they're playing Sunday, none of their new team captains had been born yet. Number 3, Mike Vrabel won more games as an NFL player than Pete Carroll has won as an NFL head coach. Number 3, Mike Vrabel won more games as an NFL player than Pete Carroll has won as an NFL head coach. Carroll, of course, now coaching the Raiders.
Wow. Okay.
Jesus. All right.
All right.
All right. Okay, go ahead. You go through your thoughts.
Okay, I'm going to go through my thoughts here. The 34-point blowout, that's for Bill Belichick as a head coach.
Yes.
Okay?
Again, remember, Cleveland. Man.
That feels like because of the Cleveland years, and I'm trying to remember if there was one that bad.
Kansas City. Remember Kansas City when they got killed by Kansas City? And it was on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was a Monday Night Football.
But I think he knows that I know that. And I think that's not the 34 points.
I think it was under 34. I'm trying to remember.
I mean,
34 is a lot.
34 is a lot, but the final score, it's like,
almost, the bigger his boobs get, the bigger the loss.
They got killed, but they scored 17 last night. So just by virtue of the fact that they scored 17, I think that one just felt like a lie right away. The Patriots players that were born, and the last time the Patriots lost to the Raiders at home, obviously.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. And it's captains only. It's not the whole team. So if you're limiting it to captains, I think that's reasonable. You're only talking about 25. Yeah, that one seems reasonable.
I mean, that would just mean that that it's been since the 90s.
Landry and Hunter Henry are the two oldest of those six.
He just looked it up, by the way.
No, I'm looking at the captains here.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to look at anything.
Okay.
All right, John is disqualified. He gets the loss. That makes sense. You're not allowed to look things up.
Yeah, I'm looking at who the captains are.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to look things up.
You're not allowed to look up anything.
I think we need a commish for stuff like this. That comes up. I think 12 should be our two stats.
Whoa. Stop everything. Does anyone think that you should be able to look up any information during this?
No.
Adam?
No.
In fact, does anyone even have an inkling of a piece of logic why that would be allowed? No, you can't. On Jeopardy, you can't go start looking at stuff.
Yeah, let me Google
John
real quick the biggest loss in Bill Belichick's head coaching career. And it's like, boom, you can find it.
No, I put on ESPN to see that it was 48-14 last night, and that just is to
refamiliarize yourself with.
Well, no, because he already gave the score. He already gave the amount of it, so it's just information he had already given out.
Right.
Okay.
And then Vrabel is a player. Sure, Vrabel they did nothing but win when Vrabel was playing. So sure, Vrabel has more wins as a player than Pete Carroll as a head coach. I'm going stat on the last two. I'm saying the first one is a lie right off the bat.
So right. Hardy with number one.
You want me to go next, Fred, or do you want to go next?
Well, you're disqualified, so you
course.
can do whatever you want.
Okay. I happen to agree with Hardy. I think number one's a lie.
Based on your research.
Because Carroll was at USC for all those years, and he didn't win with the Jets. He was okay with the Patriots, but he didn't win a lot. And then he won a lot with Seattle. But let's do this. 2 is true. 2 is true. Oh, but maybe it's not.
Okay, number 2 was
you know what? You know what I'm going to do? 2. I think 2 is true by so easily that I'm going to say 2 is the false one.
That is the captains. None of the current Patriots captains were alive the last time the Patriots lost to the Raiders.
That seems like that would be true. So I'm going to say that's the lie. I understand the game.
I like it.
I understand the game.
Right.
I'm playing the game.
Yep.
I'm saying 2's the lie.
I like how you're thinking.
That's pretty good.
So we have 2 1s for Hardy, and Wallach and Fred is going with 2.
2, yes.
Guys, you remember how I led off this segment about a twist?
Oh, come on. You're not doing it week 1.
Week 1. They're all lies.
I should get a little credit though because I took no, because I shouldn't. I don't want a point, but I shouldn't get credit that I said
for out of the box thinking.
That I said that the first two seemed like lies,
I
and
for
then the
sure
second
thought
one
Hardy was going to get me on this. I was like, and it starts now. Week 1.
Well, I don't like that. I don't think that that's a good way of doing things. I mean, it's
Jesus, Andrew. Come on.
Guys are going to remember now, though. The issue is how can you keep up?
But let's just get excited that I knew how the game was played.
You did, yes. Let's give Pat McAfee a round of applause there in the studio for Fred just getting the game right.
Yeah. All right. They're all lies.
So you get 3 points week 1.
No. He gets 1 point.
I just get 1 point.
Yeah, he just gets 1 point on these.
For each of you. So I have a total of 3.
Yeah.
But had you gotten this correctly, Hardy, you could be up 3-0-0 on the other guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not wild about that whole thing. But nonetheless, listen, it's your game. You brought it in, and no one else has ever brought in the game. So go ahead. All right. Andrew Callahan, thank you so much.
Andrew's got 2 stats.
No. Play the Michael Jackson.
Only has one
if you're going to come out with the mic.
Stinking lie.
No.
Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got
People have told me they sing this in their head. All right, Andrew, it's always a pleasure, sir. Great to have you back for the season. We appreciate it. You're great. Thanks for filling in last week. You did a great job. And we start off over on this whole thing.
New season, baby. Time now you can make it up, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, I understood the game, which I'll give myself a point for.
So now we're down to 2 times for the rest of the season.
2 times the rest of the season.
Okay.
They will be all lies.
All right. We will be right back.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, listen up. Next.
wounds that we have to eliminate before we can even worry about addressing our opponents. So we'll start with that and then move to Charlotte.
Bill Belichick's team will visit Charlotte on Saturday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, there's a separation. Yes. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
No one knows to someone that people know, which was very good for him. He's no superstar, he's got kids that have, taken college offers already. I mean, he's going to be a junior. He hasn't been offered a college offer or anything, but the amount of movement he's made is, he deserves some credit for that. He worked very hard. But anyway, I was just talking to her about that. And now it's my daughter's first day of high school today. And she seems to be in much better spirits than I thought, but she is texting. And I feel like I got to text her back. Like, I can't just go, I'm not going to text her. As you know, I'm very, very close to my daughter. And so, I feel like I need to respond when she says something.
So did she have an orientation day last week?
She had an orientation day a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And then today was the first day.
So I had Calvin had a orientation day Monday of last week. And I was gone out of the house early, not home for any of it. And in the middle of what I was doing, I got a text from Marcy, or maybe I texted her and how'd orientation go? Because she showed up, I think, for the first part of it, a brief parent thing, and then he was there for the rest of the day. And she sent me a screenshot in the text, which was, I hate it here.
Oh, man.
They screwed up my classes. Whatever schedule he had worked out and they worked out with the counselor, whatever elective he had chosen, he did not get. Instead, they put him into jewelry making, which he said, I'm not doing.
Oh, Robert Mapplethorpe was very into that.
Yeah.
I've just been reading that book, Just Friends, or not Just Friends, but whatever it is.
Yeah. So, and he said,
Just Kids.
And the pizza was terrible. So his first taste of high school, and of course he's been in the high school a lot, knows the building, and it's not all brand new, but the first day of trying to go to the classes and whatever classes he was supposed to have in his first experience of being there as a student as opposed to, participating in some other event, terrible. I hate it. I hate it were the words.
Well, the thing that I just keep telling my daughter is there's nothing worse than middle school. There's just no way it's worse than middle school.
I had that speech with my kids, too. Middle school sucks.
Yeah, it's
you just got to get
the
through
worst.
it. Put your head down. Keep going. It gets better.
The way kids' brains are formed in middle school is that they have, they're just completely the removal of tact. So, they just say the most awful things. And not insults. Mean stuff to their friends that aren't insults, you're not invited to something. Something you would never do as an adult. Yeah. Because we still, on the air, you make fun of people and you try to be funny and da-da-da-da. But oh, we're all in a group and I'm going to single you out and be we're all doing something, but you're not. That just insane cruelty tends to go away as kids get older. And seniors, she's concerned about seniors. I'm seniors don't want to be there. The
seniors don't have that nothing to do with you, and you'll get ignored, which is fine.
Yeah, I don't even think it's not even they don't want anything to do with you. It's just that they got their own. When I was a senior in high school, I didn't want to be in the building. I just left. I left all the time. And I never skipped class, but I had attendance twice. Where one time I was with Nikki Blank, who was very hot, and we would pick up the attendance, and then we would go in the nurse's office, and we would lay in a cot together. And I never hooked up with her in my life, and that was physically painful. And then I would, and then I had newspaper where I'd go, I'm going to go get ads, and I'd leave with my friends. And then I had mass media where we went out to shoot movies, which is, you want to feel even older, they didn't have camcorders. Oh no, these were real movies, like with a
Like Super 8?
like a film, like whatever cheap Super 8 camera it was that we were filming them on. So I like my senior year, like I never went to a pep rally. Even if I was on the team, I never went to, which was only baseball my senior year, and I never went to any assembly. I just, and I wasn't like a burnout. I didn't even do drugs or drink. And I had friends, I was in a popular friend group. I didn't really like the guys, but like I felt obligated to be in it because, better that than the alternative of liking the people. I mean, everyone else thought they were cool, so why should I hang out with people I liked? When I can be with this group of people that other people have assigned, which has sort of been my life strategy. No, it has been. I have so little self-confidence. I can get into the cool group, but they're the people I would prefer not to be with. But since this is the social stigma, I will be with them. So, John, you're even braver than me for just being a huge dork and hanging out with all the dorks. Yeah, I'd go to parties I didn't like anyone at.
Yeah.
I would, because you were supposed to go to the party or you were a dork.
folk. We had a great time. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you probably liked the kids more than I liked the kids that I was with.
Yeah.
I had like 2 good friends out of that group.
Yeah.
The rest of them I could have cared less about. They were all drinking at this kid's house. I didn't drink, so I didn't care.
Straight edge?
I was afraid to drink. I was afraid to lose control, and that went right out the window as soon as I got to college. And I went, oh, it helps with this. I thought, oh.
Now I get it.
I can forget about stuff
So
for
it
a
doesn't
while.
make my anxiety worse. It makes it better.
Put this to the side for a while.
Let's start doing this a lot. And
it's not the answer. It just makes you not care about the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the answer. For quite some time, it was the answer, until it wasn't, as they say. By the way, we have been going over Bill Belichick. How wonderful as he jiggled his way onto the field last night in North Carolina. His beautiful girlfriend. And by the way, I had a friend who texted me something. It's a fact. He's a big gambler. I don't know if you have seen this before, but here's a weird stat. In the history of college football, Super Bowl championship coaches with 24-year-old girlfriends have never won any games as a college head coach. So there you go. It's okay. I'll handle that later. All right. Look, we played it a little earlier, but it does need to be played again. You have on a panel, you have Teddy Bruschi, who I actually like, and look, he played for Belichick. Great. You have Desmond Howard, who just got a big deal, well-deserved. Mm-hmm. You have Nick Saban, who's surprisingly pretty good on College Game Day.
Very good friend of Belichick. Very good.
And then you have the revolutionary nonconformist Pat McAfee, who, like many agitators and many renegades, follows college football and does it for the Disney Corporation. He is a real outsider, poking at the. You know what he's doing? He's punching up at power. He's speaking truth to power.
Yeah, the classic insurgent revolutionary stylings of Pat McAfee.
Yeah, like I'm starting to have to use the thesaurus to come up with words that are that apply to him. I like that. He's a real crazy man with his interviews with athletes and Adam Schefter. He's like Stern in 92, really, is what he is. Really taking chances, getting in trouble with the government. He's doing a lot. His big thing is he likes to pick on freshmen in college girls. That's his big claim to fame.
Well, that is going against the grain. Most people in a high powered media role would not attack a college student with lies and rumors and ruin that girl's life. McAfee does the opposite.
Yeah, he goes right after it.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is, I'll read articles and they'll be like, McAfee says like these idiots in middle management, and I went, oh no, hang on, middle management, Pat, you lunatic, you're gonna lose your job. The people in middle management. Someone stop him. If you're on that show, you got to be like, what's going on? This guy's going crazy.
Yeah, that is what the resistance is all about.
Yeah.
You're attacking middle management.
Well, I mean, the Black Panthers went after actuaries. But, hey, by the way, and I'm not making that up. His big thing is he hates middle management at ESPN, which is the true provocateur. He's just a big, stupid jock, and that's all he is. And stop acting like he's doing anything cool. He's a nerd, is what he is. He's a nerd. A nerd. And you're all nerds for liking him. Nerds. And that's the worst thing I can say. Because I could say he's offensive, which he's not. I could say he's, saying he's got these opinions that are crazy, which he doesn't. He's just a nerd. All right. So here is the...
And oddly, as a former jock, a jock sniffer.
Yeah. Well, he's a punter.
He's a jock.
I mean, let's be honest. He was a punter. All right. So here we go. Which is taking jobs away from. I guess is a big Trump guy because he's taking jobs away from foreigners who usually could come in and punt. All right. So here we go. This is the before the game in which Bill Belichick. After scoring an early touchdown, lost 48-14 to Texas Christian University, who are not a bad football program, but they certainly were not a top 25 team. Here is what they had to say. We played it before, but we're going to play it again.
It is that time to make the picks for tonight's game. Yeah. Desmond, I'll start with you. North Carolina and TCU.
Listen, Bill Belichick is the reason we're all here tonight. This is going to be a big game for UNC, but the disrespect factor is going to be huge. Talk to TCU players. They want to upset his debut at home tonight. I'm going with the Horned Frogs.
The reason why... Oh, okay,
yeah, and so
wait a minute. At the pre-show meeting, we were all going to agree. Desmond, what's going on here?
No, McAfee just steps in because, he's the guy who gets the kids to kick before the games.
I wonder if that's somebody talking in his ear, and he's probably not used to that. He doesn't have that during his show. But when you're on a desk like that, they're like shouting something to him, and instead of just plowing through it, he responds to the voice in his ear that only he can hear.
So he's like a Zolak thing. So you know what they did is one time during College Game Day, they had a kid kick a field goal for money and he missed it and it went viral. So you know what they do? They do it every week now and talk about it for ages and ages and ages before they do it because it will have the same magic every time. And what a revolutionary thing. It's almost like they did that at halftime in the 60s.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
So Brewski takes over. Now I forgive Brewski for this. I don't think he's a bad analyst.
He's trying to start a culture here. I think it gets off to a good start here. I'm going North Carolina.
Well, I really respect TCU's program.
And this is Saban, so give him a break.
And their team, Sonny Dykes, has done a really good job. They got 16 starters back. But I cannot go against my friend who I'm going to be rooting for tonight. I'm picking North Carolina.
Yeah, it's...
Now, this is Pat McAfee.
TCU has all the motivation in the world. I mean, we've made a big deal out of Bill Belichick's debut for the last month, basically coming to ESPN. We're going to be there live for Bill Belichick. TCU has a very veteran team. Sonny Dykes has seen the heights of college football. He has a lot to draw from. And with that being said, Michael Lombardi also has a bunch of Super Bowl rings and team-building stuff, accolades. Bill Belichick can build a team quickly. He's got guys that he likes and he can mold in front of this crowd, building a new culture. And because I'm friends with the head coach and the GM, give me North Carolina.
Yeah, the iconoclast. There you go. Pat McAfee, friends with not only Bill Belichick, who is, a very controversial character, he is also friends with Mike Lombardi.
Well,
because this is a guy for the kids. You don't understand. This guy's bringing in 18-year-olds. Ask your kids about Pat McAfee and see if you don't get a blank stare.
Can Belichick build a team quickly?
I don't know.
To what evidence? But give me an example of Belichick building a team.
Are you part of the resistance or not?
Yeah.
So he did it 24 years ago?
Second year they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, he's a nonconformist. He's friends with Michael Lombardi. But he's for kids. You old men don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
He's friends with Michael Lombardi and Bill Belichick. Two guys with great personalities, too. One in his late 60s, the other one in his early 70s.
Those guys just make friends wherever they go. So how could you not be? You meet Bill Belichick. You know, he's essentially the Will Rogers of modern America. The guys,
he can't turn phrase.
Yeah, there are no the enemies. There's just strangers he hasn't met yet. That's it.
I mean, it's like Tyler, the Creator, with my kids, and Pat McAfee. Those are the two guys that really are on the cutting edge. I swear to God, everyone sucks so bad. And it's not just like he's on TV and people like him. And there's plenty of guys I like on TV. I just told you, I like 3 guys on that panel. And they're out of the 4 that spoke. And the idea that and am I jealous about the amount of money he makes? Absolutely. So 100%. But the idea that he is in some way, shape, or form like getting away with something is just the nerdiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And a real slap in the face to like true people who took chances in media. I mean, like the Smothers Brothers had the FBI on them, but here's, McAfee, who's friends with Mike Lombardi. God, I hate him. I couldn't hate him more. I couldn't hate, and I tell him to his face I'd hate him with his dumb Pittsburgh accent. It's really a West Virginia accent. It's so bad. And I was born there.
Yeah, Western PA, yeah.
Yeah. And then listen to this devolve into nonsense. This is on national television, prime time.
I hope so. Because it could go 2 different ways, I think we all think. Because we have no idea, 70 new players. But it could go great if he gets his guys in there, like what FSU was able to do.
The unknown makes this intriguing. And Dez is the only one that went by way of disrespect. He counts it down to kickoff.
Yeah, whatever they said there at the end is
What
great.
the hell's going on now?
What's going on is that Desmond Howard is the only one and he just got a big contract because they went, oh, you're the guy that can do it. These networks bring in people like they brought in Barstool, and Barstool's great, and Portnoy is a genius businessman. But Portnoy also was really smart because he started a media company. He hired unknowns. He made them into stars, and they moved into this thing. And just in time for Portnoy to turn 50, Fox Sports says, you guys. Like, we want the kids. And this is every compliment to Dave Portnoy and every compliment to all that talent that he raised, because Portnoy did what these major media companies should have been doing. He grew talent.
Yeah, groomed the people that no one knew who they were.
Yeah, and made them stars. So that's like a big tip of the cap to him. And he was like a rebel, like him or not. That's the definition of it. He pushed boundaries, took a lot of crap, didn't back down. He deserves a lot of credit for that. But I just think it's funny that Fox went, oh, you're 49. And everyone says you've been doing this for 20 years. You guys, you're going to get our audience way younger. Because then again, ask your kids if they know about Barstool. My kids don't know about Barstool.
Mine don't either.
It's really successful.
We had that conversation when Portnoy did the Saturday noon show and he was dancing around.
Well, that's my thing. Is that
who's that? One of my kids asked me, "Who's that?"
But that's my point. Is that like you missed the boat on him? Like he made his billions of dollars because he did what you should be doing. Yeah. He built that. And again, this isn't an insult to him. I'm not like afraid he's going to get mad at me or something. I've been through that whole exercise. But it's just funny to me, like in 2025, they went, we need kids, Barstool. Like you should have done that 15 years ago. But he was too controversial then. All right. We'll be right back with the email.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back on the... You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right, it's Toucher and Hardy. Email bit coming shortly, but I have actual mail here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Are we unboxing?
Hey, do you need a knife?
I love the physical mail. No, I used my key like a...
Why do you do this? You know what? Keep doing it. You're going to damage the key eventually, and I'm going to be the one who's laughing at you when you do.
I've been doing it
Not
for
if,
years.
but when.
I haven't damaged a key yet.
You will. You will.
12.
I get cornered in halls. Everyone's so excited. What
was the conversation this time?
Well, it was with Adam. It was about the show.
All
But he knew I had to urinate. He knows I can't get into the bathroom over there, and so
That's probably a problem we need to fix. It's been going on for a
You
few
know what?
weeks.
I like it because I get to see the people down the hall.
Do you want a new swipe card that can get you into that restroom instead?
No.
Okay. Hardy's
that.
opening mail with his key again, Fred, because he won't use my knife or any knife because he's
I
stubborn.
like that.
Of course you do.
Nothing wrong with that.
You do what you got to
I
do.
broke a key off in the door of my 83...
My dad's car is still the Boogermobile. Still has you have to put a key in it to turn it on.
Do you really?
Yeah. He thinks it's the coolest car.
All right.
He loves almost getting in accidents. My father was so we went to the movies because I demanded it.
Yeah.
And we all went with my mom because my dad had to run an errand. And so there's like 5 of us, right? And so we're leaving the movie, and my dad's like, is anyone going to ride with me? Which no one wants. But my son's very nice, so he's like, I'll ride with you. And then, of course, close to death because what my son made the mistake of was talking to my father, and he cannot drive and talk because that means that it's too much. Yeah. He takes his foot off the accelerator and merges on the freeway while going like 15. He's got a big fan of that.
Yeah. Toucher Hardy Wallach. I listen to you guys every day from Seattle via the podcast. Been listening to Freddie T say Zeitgeist for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, baby, you're learning.
Now that Fred's saying Zeitgeist is part of the Zeitgeist, I had to get you guys some merch from a local Seattle coffee shop, Zeitgeist Coffee.
Oh.
Wallach, your mom says cheap, caw screech. Josh in Seattle.
You know what's interesting about that email is that he didn't play Tune in Tokyo with her. Which I'm told is something that happens. Is that right, John, or am I wrong?
3 T-shirts
Davis.
from Zeitgeist Coffee.
Oh, nice.
Very good.
Right. Well,
Okay.
listen, it used to be you got stuff every day. I still have a T-shirt. I keep like clothes in the bureau at my parents' house, so I pack very light.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a T-shirt for the video game Skate or Die that I got in 1998. It was the first thing I ever got at 99X. So take that.
Yeah, very nice.
Take it or leave it.
All right.
Know what I'm saying?
What do you got over there, Wallach? Anybody email you?
I don't have much. I'll tell you that right now.
A lot of
people stopped listening.
More sports stuff. Is it telling guys? I have a question for you. Is it telling that Christian Gonzalez is not a captain on this year's team? These are the kinds of emails that I've gotten this morning.
What would it be telling that he's hurt?
No, the fact that he's a superstar and that the players didn't vote for him for captain, and he's been out for this long. And
all right, well, you looked at the captains. Who are the captains?
The captains this year on offense: Drake May and Hunter Henry.
Okay, because Drake May's the quarterback, and Hunter Henry's been there a long time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and you have Robert Spillane,
because he's a veteran,
brand new, and Marcus Jones, which is kind of odd. I don't know why he's a captain. Harold Landry, who's brand new, and Brendan Schooler represents the special teams.
How long has Landry been in the
first year? He's been in the NFL a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So Spillane and Landry, I understand why, because they're variable guys too, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But Jones, I think this is his 3rd year, and he plays the same position, so it's odd.
Yeah.
The captain stuff doesn't interest me as much as maybe it should, or I don't know. I don't care. But my brief interactions with Christian Gonzalez, nice guy, seems down to earth, all put together. I don't get the sense that he is, I'm going to run through a wall for that guy.
That was a big knock on him coming out of college, and why he went as late as he did. I know he's a first-round pick, but why he wasn't higher is that people thought A, he avoided contact, and B, he wasn't aggressive. Like, he was a very passive human being.
Yeah. And it's, forget about the on-field stuff and the contact. I'm just talking like in person.
No, that's what I'm saying is that his personality when he would be having interviews and stuff he seemed like quiet and laid back and passive.
The other part of it was he wasn't necessarily a preseason player. He was more of a regular season player, and this factors in why I thought the Patriots just holding him out. You remember during those joint practices with Philadelphia last year, A.J. Brown made him look terrible, and then you get to the regular season and he was a lockdown corner. So maybe it's, Vrabel wants guys and the players respect guys that are there from day one and work hard, and maybe Gonzalez isn't one of those guys.
Also because he's hurt might
Yeah.
have something to do with it. Oh, Belly from The Summer I Turned Pretty is on Kelly and Mark.
Oh,
she's in Paris now. The wedding's off with Jeremiah.
Oh, that's terrible.
That was the first thing my daughter did her first night at school. We checked in with her. It's like, what are you guys doing? And there were 5 girls in her room, and they were all watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, but like watching it on a laptop. They don't have a TV in their room, which just seems so strange to me. Like they're all huddled around like, one thing, and it's like, nope, that's how they watch stuff.
How are they going to watch football?
Yeah.
My question is this. Tell me if you think this is an odd play.
The boys I saw moving TVs in, but the girls, no TVs.
Okay. So, Summer I Turned Pretty. 3 main characters. Belly is the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah and Conrad are male brothers. First episode of Summer I Turned Pretty, there's a party. And Jeremiah is like making out with this dude. We're in end of the 3rd season, end of the show, like 3 episodes left. Jeremiah was going to marry Belly. It doesn't end up happening. It's never addressed again that he kissed that boy. Why'd he kiss the kid? Like, don't you think that's something they would bring up again? Like, even like he's getting married to like a girl that was at the party. Wouldn't you be like, hey, like, don't you like guys, or do you like guys and girls? Wouldn't it come up at a certain point? Isn't it a weird plot thing to have in and just never address again? But they did address it, because then they have a bachelor party, and the kid I guess the kid he was making out with was one of his guys in his bachelor groomsmen. And one of the girls goes to Belly, oh, Jeremiah's ex-boyfriend's here. That's the only 2 times it's ever referenced.
I don't know, Fred. If it's following real life, that's not something you necessarily want brought up again as the person who engaged in it. I'm sure in all your frat parties that you drone on and on about, you made out with a couple of dudes, and like, did you want to talk about it afterward?
You haven't read my poetry, have you?
Well, I have.
No, you haven't.
No, it's
because I have several volumes on my makeout sessions.
But you don't come out and say it. You have to be able to, read through the nuance and symbolism, and I can't do that.
Well, I mean, have you looked at my collages? Somehow we don't all communicate in the same way. I just thought it was odd. I just thought it was just an odd plot device. Like you would think that it would turn into something. Not even that it was a male on male kiss, that it was a kiss of someone that he was involved with. That my head's spinning. Anyway, spoiler alert. Jeremiah and Belly don't get married. She's off to Paris. I told my daughter episodes ago that was going to happen. But I don't think Conrad's done just yet.
Spoiler alert.
You guys haven't been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty?
No.
Have not.
I got an email about Jordan Hudson, a couple of emails, one of them saying, hey, 48 points scored on North Carolina last night, still less than the age difference between Bill and Jordan.
Right.
That's number one.
She's so hot.
But the Jordan filing of more copyrights, which we did not discuss earlier.
Oh, yeah.
This was, a few days ago. Gold Digger was at the top of the list that everybody thought, number one, you're not going to be able to copyright the term gold digger.
You should just do the whole phrase from the Kanye West song.
Yeah, see if you
She
can
should try to copyright that.
See if you can get that.
She's not. She should get copyrighted. I'm not saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't broke. Messing with broke, and then just try to do all that.
Yeah, try it.
Hey, you know what?
She's also
Randy gave me a pass.
Trying to get copyrights on Chapel Bill, and then in parentheses, Bill's version.
Sure, take it all you want.
No,
you can have it.
No,
this morning, no problem.
Yeah.
No days off. Again, in parentheses, Bill's version, and Bellicast. Now, those were all filed in April.
Yeah, good.
So
Take
these
them. You can have them all, except for Gold Digger. You can have them all. Chapel Bill. Sure. How many of those do you think you're going to sell? You're going to have I'll tell you what. There's going to be a lot of people like in Haiti after a flood that are wearing Chapel Bill shirts. Take them all, honey.
Do Your Job, Bill's version, and All Belichick team. They're all. They are.
Oh, this is a fantasy where he's the next Madden. Okay, very good.
Okay.
He sucked on TV too,
yeah.
so he's a failure at everything.
Oh, here's one.
No, we got to
put that old helmet on.
Okay.
Did you see him put that Navy helmet on?
Yeah, he was copying Corso and stealing Valor at the same time, so it was a double whammy. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox opened up a 3-game series with Cleveland yesterday by beating the Guardians at Fenway Park 6-4. Trevor Homer a home run right down the right field line and 2 RBIs. Red Sox are tied with the Yankees for first place in a wild card race and only 2.5 games out of first place in the division. Garrett Crochet faces the Guardians at Fenway tonight. Patriots begin their regular season Sunday afternoon against Las Vegas and Foxborough. Christian Gonzalez not at practice yesterday. Patriots also elected 6 captains. They'll be Drake May, Robert Spillane, Hunter Henry, Marcus Jones, Harold Landry, and Brendan Schooler. And in Chapel Hill, North Carolina last night, Bill Belichick's UNC Tar Heels got run over by TCU 48-14. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
my leg.
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
14 p.m. Saturday, a sheriff's deputy was alerted by an event participant that there was a man lying in a pool of blood. So the officers immediately responded to the campsite and found a single white adult male lying on the ground, obviously deceased. Law enforcement said that they created a perimeter on the area and that they were processing the scene and collecting evidence. They are investigating it as a homicide. So somebody, they're not saying how, but somehow beat to death, maybe, lying on the ground in a pool of blood.
I don't like that vibe. I mean, that's supposed to be a cool vibe.
That's not good. That's not good. Another unfortunate death, Fred, from a show that I know you watched, Rock of Love. Kelsey Bateman. Does that name ring a bell?
I'd have to see a picture.
She was on the show in the third and final season.
Oh, that was not a good season.
She made it all the way to the final 9 women, but eliminated in dramatic fashion in the 7th episode. She showed up to the elimination drunk with several other contestants, told the cameras that she had laid down on a speed bump and broke down in tears because of the pressures of the show. It has been announced that she has died at the age of 39. This is what she looked like, Fred. That one.
She's good looking. I just don't. I don't remember her.
That doesn't
The
ring a
third
bell?
season wasn't very good, but I don't like that happened. Did you see this video? A man arrested for masturbating at the Korn concert.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to figure out that he was masturbating? It took me like 5. They don't. This isn't a joke about like I just wanted to see him do it. So what it is this guy in the front row of like the upper deck of a concert, and this dude, like everyone's going and like kind of freaking out. He's by himself, like there's no one else in the row, and this guy comes up and hits him in the head, and it goes pow like in a cartoon, and then the video ends, and I'm like, what's going on? Because our phones are great, and I'm just like everyone else. I looked at it again because the Boom guys, for the time being, weren't doing their big meatball song. That's come out, Giant Meatball. So it goes boom, boom. Turns out this guy was very openly masturbating in the balcony of a Korn concert, and it wasn't. He was in the front row too, like of the balcony. Upper deck.
What a strange concert to have to masturbate at.
As opposed to most concerts where you really want to masturbate. But yeah, sure enough, like it's from behind. So like it's suitable for work. It's not like anything you'd get in trouble for. It's you can't see anything, but it's feverish.
I find there's nothing sexy about a Korn concert.
Freak on a Leash.
Yeah.
Got the life.
Adidas. All day I dream about sex.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's true.
This leads me into my story of when Jonathan Davis took me through what?
Oh, his House of Horrors.
Yes, serial killer memorabilia.
Korn had a festival tour that they took around the world, and part of it was Jonathan Davis, who was very, very nice, very, very nice, took me on my own personal tour of his House of Oddities.
It's the macabre.
There was John Wayne Gacy paintings. And then look at this. They used to like do stuff with this in the 1800s. And they went, well, I like that you gave John Wayne Gacy money. That's pretty good. He's killed all those guys, and he was a real not good person, but sure, throw him some bucks. I don't know why this... I could get if you were like trying to freak out the man, like having a John Wayne Gacy poster, but to like collect them and be like, I don't know really what.
And then show them off.
Yeah, like I don't really know what you want out of me. Like I'm not scared of it. It's just like it's just kind of crummy that you gave the guy money. Anywho, that'll do it for us. I hope my daughter is having a good day. She's been texting a lot. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.